out. But first, the latest on a meatball shortage that could have been avoided by using Easy Cater.
I'm at the buffet where the meatballs are dwindling. While Caprese's salad supplies remain strong, sources say the garlic bread is long gone.
Newsflash, it's hard to order the right amount of food, but at Easy Cater, we make hard easy. With catering experts ready to help 24/7. Order from over 100,000 restaurants at easycater.com.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at hnhmedicalny.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
Need a bed? Get a giant 85-inch flat screen TV or a beautiful Weber stainless steel grill at Mattress Express's grand opening of their newest superstore, New Hartford, Commercial Drive 4488, next to Pet Supplies Plus. Stop in, open 7 days a week.
On the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, good morning. Good morning, Davey. How you doing in there, man?
I'm doing okay.
I can't hear you. You got to yell at that microphone.
I said I'm doing okay. How are you?
Not good, Davey. It's terrible.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome back. What a long 2 weeks without you.
It was, it was 2 weeks. I don't think I've taken a vacation that long in, well, a long time. Might have been a firing, not a vacation. I could be wrong. So, a couple things to get into. I don't know if you saw much of what the Turning Stone announced on Friday, but it's darn impressive.
So, you were there for this announcement, right?
I was there on Friday morning, and then there was they had a dinner and like a aerobatic display in the event center during dinner, and then fireworks afterwards. It was pretty cool. Quite a weekend.
Wow. So how do you describe or summarize what their major announcement is? And do you think it's the biggest thing in 20 years or 30 years?
I do. Yeah, I think they're just, we'll get into all the changes and talk about the additions and the things. One of it, which will be adding a new hotel, which is really going to double their capacity. They're going to be able to handle huge conventions, national events that they cannot do right now. So yeah, I do think it's, and a whole bunch of other things that we can get into. But I think it's enormous. And I have to say, the fireworks display that they put on Saturday night is probably the best fireworks display that's ever happened here, ever before.
And they were all real?
Well, it depends on what you determine is real.
Well, I was always amazed, for instance, one of the Olympic celebrations maybe was in Japan. I can't remember where it was, but they had all these fireworks going along the top of the stadium for the opening ceremonies, and I was told it was all fake. It was all, they weren't real fireworks or what we think of traditional fireworks. It was all basically digitally done, for lack of a better term. I can't describe it.
Well, what you may have been seeing is drones. And there was the Washington, D.C.'s last 4th of July fireworks, I think, and I'm sure this year, all of a sudden you see like letters in the sky and you see words, and that's all done with drones. So it's a combination of amazing fireworks and drones doing all sorts of things. That's what they did Saturday night, and it was unbelievably impressive.
Wow.
Like they would write out the words 30 years. It'd be written out in the sky, along with fireworks going off.
Wow.
It was pretty darn cool. So for that, I would say that was a pretty darn impressive fireworks display.
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't heard it described as not real, but maybe what they were doing was like fireworks that you were seeing like on a green screen or something.
Well, and what I meant was, you have fireworks, traditional fireworks, you light them off on the ground, they shoot up into the sky somewhere, pow, pow, pow. And again, they have, do I want to use the word coordinated? They seem at a lot of major events like the Olympics. Or maybe
Well, they're
like
coordinated, and they're computerized, coordinated with the music oftentimes.
Yes, they're in sync, and like
It's
you said,
incredible.
they're spelling out words and things like that. That's not to me anyway, a traditional firework that you'd light off the ground. And
All right, well, I think that non-traditional is better in this case.
with no question
That's what
about
I would.
it.
That's what I would say.
No question about it.
I think we're reaching the week. Maybe it lingers on. I don't know. But is this the week that we finally determine that the Mets will not make a run this year?
Yeah,
This was a bad loss of a series this weekend.
Well, fortunately for me, I was up in the Adirondacks for a good chunk of the weekend and wasn't able to watch any Mets games and had occasional internet service, so I was very happy with that, at least not being able to see that the Mets were getting their butts kicked all weekend in Boston. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Although I will say this, the closer they get to 500, the better chance they have of pulling out a wild card spot. It seems like with the Yankees, they're going to have to be well above 500 if they want to get back into it.
The Yankees and Red Sox are fighting for last place, yet they still are in playoff contention. Isn't that right, Davey? I mean, they're still in it.
Yeah, they had the perfect brewing of the Kansas City Royals this weekend.
Yeah.
Now they go to the Met. They have the Mets for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then they play the first place. Surprising Baltimore Orioles are in first place. They overtook Tampa.
Well, this can't, at least as Mets fans, I don't know where anybody else is, but for me, football season is just around the corner. So that's kind of where we are.
And Bill's training camp opens up this week. I'm going on Monday.
Yeah. Awesome, Davey.
So at this must have been Thursday night, I had a game. And I saw a mother of one of the students, one of the players who I knew growing up. And it wasn't like really muggy Thursday night, but, it was still like 83 degrees or something like that. And she goes, I almost feel like a little chill in the air. And I said, are you out of your mind? It's just not as muggy as it's been, but I wouldn't say there's a little chill in the air.
Yeah.
And then I want to say Friday night, with the breeze coming through, I felt like there was a little chill in the air.
It was pleasant. That's how I would describe it. Man, we're going to lose that this week as we'll be dealing with temperatures up. Humid, hot temperatures. It'll go up near 90 degrees through the week this week. A music teacher in upstate New York has been accused of sending hundreds of texts to a student's phone and trying to convince the child to meet up outside the school.
Okay, well, here's how we're gonna judge this as a society, because I hate to keep seeing this, but it continues to happen. Was it a male teacher or a female teacher, and was the quote victim in this case male or female?
So I don't know about the victim, and I do think that if this was being done a female to a male or a female to a female, it would still be very bad. But it turns out the 49-year-old music teacher is Jeffrey T. Camp. The school is the Falconer Central School District out in western New York. He was arrested on Thursday and charged with sending 600 text messages to a student.
Wow, loser. 600? What a loser.
Allegedly, yes.
Not that 50 is any better, but...
Camp is listed as a middle high school teacher for Falconer, a district in western New York. The Fredonia man was described as the band director in January of 2017. According to the Ellicott Police Department, they started investigating him last week and determined the teacher had tried to get the student to meet up with him in the Falconer area, and at one point tried to meet up with the kid after hours at the school. He's been charged with endangering the welfare of a child, which is a misdemeanor. And again, I couldn't tell you whether the student was a male or female, but certainly the teacher being charged here is a male. Yeah, I mean, you've got a real problem if first of all, if you're even making the first attempt and you're talking about a middle school student or any student, you've got a problem. But 600 text messages is probably a red flag if that's ultimately the case. Another arrest happened with a man in Cayuga County sentenced to prison on Friday for having an unregistered and short-barreled AR-15 style rifle. And how did officials find out about this? It was the attempt to purchase a huge amount of ammunition.
Oh.
And everything is registered in New York State and came up as a red flag. Dwayne Hollenbeck, a 54-year-old in Moravia, charged in September after investigators found numerous ghost guns and large-capacity magazines on one of his properties. Investigators were led to his camp in Chenango County after a concerned gun retailer reported that he was making large purchases of ammunition weekly for more than a month.
Good morning.
I guess if you want to make the purchase, there's really not necessarily anything illegal about making a purchase of having a lot of ammunition, but it turned out to be the red flag, and sure enough, so he has been sentenced. The 54-year-old male has been sentenced.
So, just a quick comment here, if I can squeeze it in before we get too far from it. Mark saying this morning on Hulu, there's a series or a show called Keep This Between Us. And he said it's a very disturbing program. It's about a teacher and student affair. So I know we were just talking about that story.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but that's really how the grooming happens, right?
I guess so.
Don't tell anybody. This should be a secret, our little secret. I don't know. But, man, if you're craving that and you don't realize that's wrong, well, that's a bit of a problem. Over the weekend, we had probably the greatest weather. Would you say that this weekend was just perfect?
Yeah.
And even when you had a little bit of a breeze where it was a little bit cool at night or maybe even during the afternoon, that breeze kind of cooled things off. It was just beautiful weather. Yeah. That is going to change. Meteorologist Craig Flint is with WUTR and is on the line right now. Craig Flint, good morning.
Good morning, Bill Keeler. How are you?
Glad to be back. I had a very long 2-week work session is what our vacations are like. As my wife said to me, this is not a vacation, it's an exploration. Suck it up.
Well, good to have you back. We missed you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but you were right. I heard you were just talking about the weekend. Couldn't dial it up any better, could we?
Oh, this was yesterday was picture perfect. Blue skies. Mm-hmm. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too humid. But I don't know. Are we looking at an end to that, at least for a time?
Well, it was over the weekend. We are going to start to see this turnaround, and this week coming up is going to be classic summer. Here we are in mid to late July. We're getting ready to go into August, and we've all heard the term the dog days. They'll probably show up here by mid to late week as temperatures really start to cook up. We're going to be flirting with 90 degrees for a couple days, probably Wednesday, Thursday, if not the low 90s. So the humidity's going to come back as well, and just a typical summer type pattern where you might get a random shower, thunderstorm in the afternoon, but nothing too consequential or widespread. I was just looking at the radar. We had one little shower sprout up over the Mohawk Valley this morning.
Yeah, like 5 o'clock. It actually woke me up for some reason, but it had that nice sound on the roof. I wish it had happened at 11 last night. I would have slept like a baby.
I know. Same here. By the way, hi, Jeff. How are you?
Oh, very good. Good morning. Good
well,
morning.
I mean, if you had to worry about watering plants or your tomato plants or whatever, you don't have to worry about that today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once we get this little shower, that was a little help. There'll probably be a few more that bubble up later this afternoon. There are already a few storms down towards Binghamton this morning. So, a few of those could dance through, and it'll be very random. As I like to say, rain is random in the summer.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the case today and really over the next several days with temperatures, again, warming up to 90, if not 91 or 92. Looks like the hottest weather we've had so far this summer.
Are we? I mean, there is a warning or a watch for some pretty severe thunderstorms today. Could we see that today? Is it likely today?
You can never, when we're talking about thunderstorms, I never rule it out. Even if there's no watch or anything like that, you just never can tell. Thunderstorms by nature can be volatile, So, I suppose there could be a few strong to severe thunderstorms, but I don't think it's going to be anything that's, like, widespread. I don't expect any severe weather outbreak, but a few thunderstorms could cop a little attitude later today. Sure, that's possible.
All right. But prepare for a hot and humid one this week.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. We'll get warmer by the day, and I mean the humidity levels are probably, by comparison and relatively speaking, are probably not too bad today, tomorrow, but by midweek we'll really start to notice it.
All right, Manaski.
I love that. The thunderstorms might cop an attitude this
Could
afternoon.
cop a bit of an attitude.
The greatest description for a forecast I've heard.
Okay, good stuff. Craig Flint, thank you. WTR. Have a wonderful week. Thank you, man.
Talk to you later.
All right. Meteorologist Craig Flint. I just dawned on me, I missed almost most of July from the Boilermaker on. And you've had a lot of this rain and then sun and rain and sun, and I came back to this weekend, which was just picture perfect.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. I actually had a couple of situations where what you're talking about where I have a game scheduled for 6 o'clock, but 3:30, it's pouring outside. It's all gray. You hear the thunder rumbling, and then by 4:45, it's sunny like it never rained at all that day.
The U.S. Mint is honoring an incredible Central New York woman as part of its 2024 American Women Quarters program. Did you know this was even going on?
No.
You're going to be getting quarters in your pocket, and you'll not recognize the quarters. You're like, is this real? The U.S. Mint unveiled a design for a new quarter bearing the image of Dr. Mary Walker. You familiar with her?
Not off the top of my head.
She's an Oswego town native who was a Union Army surgeon in the Civil War and is the only woman to have been awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's huge.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah. She's going to be on the quarter. She was also a writer, an abolitionist, and an activist who fought for women's dress reform and the right to vote. The quarter shows Walker with her full name, Dr. Mary Edwards Walker, and a likeness of her holding a pocket surgical kit. She's pictured wearing a uniform with her surgeon's pin and the Medal of Honor, which she received from President Andrew Johnson in 1865 and continued to wear the uniform for the rest of her life. That's a new... You're looking at it?
Yes. Okay. I was misreading this. Okay. Yeah. She was an abolitionist because it said here not. See, I'm still in a sports mindset. It says not long after being released by the Confederates. I thought she got sent off on waivers. That wasn't the case. No, she was captured and held, and then was released.
And was a surgeon. And at that time, during the days of the Civil War, that was a pretty unique situation, right?
Correct. The Medal of Honor controversy This is via Army.mil.
Well, a woman shouldn't get the Medal of Honor, right?
The civilian status is why Walker's medal was rescinded in 1917, 2 years before she died, along with 910 others. Walker refused to return the medal, though, and continued to wear it until she died 2 years later. 60 years after that, in 1977, President Jimmy Carter restored the honor in her name, thanks to efforts made by her family. So thank you, Dr. Mary Walker, for representing all women in this long list of honorable Medal of Honor recipients. And this is, again, according to a Army.mil.
By the way, former President Jimmy Carter trying to break the record for not dying, right? You remember it was 6 months ago we had heard that he was put into hospice care, and you realize in the media they all began creating his obituary, right, and the montage of videos and photos. They'd be all ready the moment he goes. They'll be ready to go. And look he's still going. He's still, I don't want to say going strong, but he is still alive.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter. Wow. Apparently someone won the Mega Millions jackpot. Is that right?
Was it in California?
Yeah.
There was one winner.
And now here we are. Dave, you got a line ringing. Now here we are with the Powerball. And has somebody won that? I guess they did.
Well,
I
Saturday
didn't think
night?
there was a winner, but it looks like there must have been a winner. No, it's the Powerball was the winner. The Mega Millions is what's still going.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the Mega Millions is now at $820 million. So that one's pretty close to reaching $1 billion as well.
Yeah, the other one did eclipse $1 billion. I don't know the exact total, but
it was $1 billion. I believe it was $1 billion when they won it.
It was funny to me because a lot of times you'll go places and you'll see the sign and it'll say, 146 or 342 or now 568, all these big numbers. Yeah. And when I walked into the store and it said 1.
Yeah, pretty wild. But I think that they're worried though that people are losing interest in the lottery. I don't know if that means the numbers are down, but it's become just the belief that the odds are so insurmountable that you couldn't win. Obviously, someone did win, though, right?
Right.
Someone in
Somebody's
California
going
did
to win.
But
I think
man, your odds are so bad.
I think the same thing. It's like, I'm going to spend this $2 and it's only $2, but I'm never going to win.
Yeah.
And the truth is, though, somebody does win. I hate to keep throwing hope at gamblers there, But the truth is, somebody does win. I know it's not going to be me, and granted, it's only $2, but $2 and $2 and $2 and $2, all that stuff adds up. Obviously, because if the jackpot's $1 billion, but I'm one of those people who believes there is not a chance. I would even be willing to bet that somebody in my area code, my zip code, my area code, what's the 5-digit? Doesn't have a chance. Yeah. That's what I would.
That's your zip code.
I would be more likely. I think you'd cash in making that bet every time they had a drawing versus trying to get the big jackpot.
Yeah. While I was away, we hired here at WIBX a new reporter. Leonard Jackman is the person's name. He comes from the Oswego area and has worked with NBC News, ABC News, and also, I believe, with CNN. I think he might have worked with Brian Nobles for a while. And he was covering for us last week the Utica Common Council and the huge change, the huge turnaround while I was gone. All of a sudden, we're going back to regular streets, not complete streets. So these would be incomplete streets. Leonard, with his first interview on the radio here this morning on the line. Leonard, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Nice they could tell me.
Good morning.
Well, hello, Bill.
You missed your cue. You missed your cue. I don't.
Got to get that timing down, Leonard.
I could travel to the most remote crevices of the planet Earth, and Stefan would still find a way to call me. Trust me.
He called you when you were away?
Oh, I heard from Stefan every day. Every day. Good morning, Stefan.
Welcome back, Bill.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. So you were covering, though, I mean, the part of this that has some truth to it is you really were covering the Common Council meeting. You were at the Common Council meeting the other night.
Yes, I was. Wednesday night, last Wednesday, Utica Common Council meeting was a big vote on Complete Street, which is from Court Street downtown to Route 5S, Oriskany Street, and they voted to put it back to 4 lanes, and I spoke at the meeting. I spoke about how dangerous the bike lanes are, which they are, and it got a little heated, and it was a 6-2 vote, and the two people that voted, the two people that voted against it were Celeste Friend and Katie Aiello.
Okay, yeah, I would expect that. So they wanted to leave. First of all, it is so ridiculous. Am I the only one looking at this like, are you kidding me? We went with it.
The volleying?
The volley back and forth. That's like
just ridiculous.
It is like we are no longer the handshake city. We're the city that can't make up a mind. It's unbelievable. What is going on here?
It's not the handshake city. It's the handed back city.
That's right.
Just keep handing it back and forth.
We call it in the media the hot potato city. Nobody wants to. I mean, what is going on? So now, here's the part of this that just blows my mind, is you've painted the streets now.
It was not a permanent paint, though.
Oh, okay, so it could wash off like a water paint.
Yeah, well, I don't know about a water paint, but yes, it's a less permanent because my understanding, this is what I was told, that when they first painted the lines, when they first dropped this experiment on everybody, within prior to the summer starting, they had to redo it because, again, snow, salt, all that stuff, it had essentially it had thinned out. It washed away. It was difficult to see.
So we don't have to grind the road down.
There might be just on the edges of the road, because everyone talks about this epoxy they have to grind off. But again, it didn't even last a full season when they put it down, so it can't be the heavy duty long term stuff that they're using.
For you, Stefan, you're pleased that it's going back to a regular street.
Yes, I am. I'm happy about that, and let's see what's going to happen here, if they're going to go back or what they're going to do. They have to make up their mind here.
That's right.
And it's confusing here what they do.
Yeah, it's a little embarrassing, I think.
I will say, I feel like individually, members of the council have made up their mind. There might be a couple who've gone back and forth, but essentially you have a solid group of people who don't think this is a good idea. Then you have a solid group, now it's down to 2, who say this is a great idea. We need to move forward with it. Can they just sync the lights? I think we'd all take that trade.
That would help a lot.
Just sync the
You're
lights.
Right. You're right. As you're going down Genesee Street, but see, remember the complete street concept is the syncing of the lights will allow traffic to move faster. The complete street concept is to slow traffic down because they don't want. It's like what a roundabout would do. It would slow traffic just a bit. But either way, we're going back, and then
roundabouts on Genesee Street. Let's start the campaign right now.
Well, there's already one. You already have one.
On Jenny. Oh, right. On Niagara Circle Square.
Yeah. But I would say that the other part of this that's interesting is that we were testing out Varick Street to go all pedestrian on Varick Street, which I guess would be kind of cool in the summertime. But what are you doing in the wintertime?
And there's restaurants down there.
There are.
Right?
Yeah.
People want to be able
to walk. You'd have to walk to the restaurant.
I'm not saying overall it's a terrible idea, but I just feel for the bar traffic, that's a lot of foot traffic, but to have restaurants down there, you're not going to get anybody, younger than 50 coming down? Because if you have to walk 4 blocks to get there, unless it's a really nice day, nobody wants to do that.
I do like the idea. I mean, you see it a lot in bigger cities where they take streets and turn them into, maybe there's only one way and there's one lane going through a street. You see a lot of that in New York. And parts of Broadway have been shut right down in New York City. They've been turned into pedestrian only. You have people sitting out there with an umbrella and a little table, and they're eating at their cafe and that sort of thing. But there is a city where you have a great deal of walking traffic.
Right.
And, millions of people. That kind of helps, right? I don't know that we're quite there as of yet. So, okay, Stefan, anything else you want to report on this?
And also, the Mets have to start playing better than they did last night. We'll have to see if there'll be buyers or sellers here at the trade deadline. And they have to play better against the Yankees these two games coming up.
Yeah. Well, you're right. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this is do or die time. I think if you're in the Mets organization. So, okay, Stefan, thanks, man.
Thank you, Bill. And Jeff did a great job hosting and holding down the fort.
Very nice.
Well, thank you, Stefan. And I hate to respond to a compliment. I just want you to know I love you, and I'm only teasing you, but thank you, Captain Obvious. The Mets have to play better.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I mean, we're terrible.
Terrible. All right, Stefan, thanks, man. Mike says we went from complete streets to complete confusion, and that is really so true.
Yeah, that's the nail right on the head.
We'll break and come back here. Hold on. So it's a Monday morning. We'll do Hopica's free money question of the day. Give you a chance to win from the Hopica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hopica. Also this morning on the program, what's ahead this week in Congress? We'll get to all of that. Samantha Colosimo Testa is on as Utica has moved back to 4 lanes on Genesee Street. Craziness, but it's true. Republicans, some of whom want to impeach President Biden. Where will that go? And, Ozempic, it's the medicine that a lot of people are on.
Yes.
People right here in our area losing weight. Is it actually safe for you? And there are some concerns out there right now that we'll get into coming up here. It's Monday, July 24th. Stand by. We're coming right back at WIBX.
Hi, it's Jordan from Little Falls Lumber. Summer is a great time to freshen up the look of your home, and we have you covered. We stock a variety of name brand products from GAF shingles, LP vinyl siding, Sierra Pacific windows, to Moisture Shield composite decking, and premium grade pressure treated decking. We have options to fit any budget. Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations, Little Falls, Syracuse, and Schenectady, to see what we have in store, or visit us at littlefallslumber.com.
Hey, Mom. Hey. I completely forgot about Jackie's birthday tomorrow.
Okay. Sorry. Hello.
Hi, Mommy. Are you still at Kenny's?
We've got this.
Kenny Drugs. We got this. And that.
The government is spying on you. No surprise, I know. But did you know the banks are helping them? And did you know that withdrawing your cash from the bank can be very risky? That's right. Let Swiss America educate you about this. Banks are now required to spy on us for the government, and they report any behavior they think is suspicious. You'll be shocked when you read The Secret War on Cash from Swiss America. This new war against cash is really a war against the Constitution, against all freedom-loving Americans. You must read The Secret War on Cash. Get your free copy by calling or texting 800-630-1490. That's 800-630-1490. This war on cash is growing daily, and it also includes all forms of digital money. So please, get and read The Secret War on Cash free by calling or texting right now at 800-630-1490. That's 800-630-1490. Message and data rates may apply.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more. And you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I have some comments on the Varick Street issue. This comes from Dirk. Yeah, that's a real name. The focus on these issues, like complete streets and dog parks, are just a distraction from issues like dealing with panhandlers, homeless people, the terrible conditions of our streets, and the gang issues facing the community. Also saying the walking only Varick Street idea is very problematic. There's no sizable public parking area there, and that will absolutely impact the financial viability of the restaurants and bars in the district. I think it's a great idea if you live somewhere else. It's a great idea for another piece of property. But I just don't know that it's a great idea for Varick Street.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
I mean, there are places around where this works. I feel like what happens is, I've always said that, I don't know. It seems like in the last 4 years, just the last 4 years, and this is just a little take on it. Just my little take.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said that what happens, here's the problem with our area, is you have people that are in government in some cases, who just have never been anywhere else. They've never traveled anywhere else. They don't travel. So they don't see other things, new ideas, new concepts, etc., that could help move the area forward. The problem, I think, in the last 4 years is people in the city of Utica, whether it be on the Common Council or wherever in Utica, I think the problem is they have traveled. And they're like, oh, look at that. We should bring that back here, without any real investigation or study done to be able to say, would it work here? Well, I was in Quebec City just recently, and they did this, so we're going to do it. We were in Toronto. We were in New York. We went to Boston. I mean, there's some things that will work in major cities that might not work here.
Well, as a matter of fact, to follow up on that point, you were just, I believe, on a cruise, and aren't you launching this morning a plan to have a cruise along the Erie Canal going from Utica to Mohawk, from Mohawk to Utica?
That is exactly correct. It is what we're going to do. And by the way, all meals will be provided, and every night in Utica, there will be a midnight buffet. It's going to be amazing. Yep. We're going to do it. I just thought it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, let's do it here. Why don't we do that here? Yes. I really thought...
Fuel up that boat, Smitty. We're ready to go.
I can't be the only person that thought that the Turning Stone was going to announce my favorite idea of all, and that's the indoor water theme park. But it looks like that is not on the docket. But, man, of all the things that they announced that they're going to be doing, and a lot of huge things, one of the cool things is they've done a partnership with Rome Memorial, and they're putting a health center there. So it'll be for nation members, but it would also be for somebody who was just at the Turning Stone, and say you fell ill or you weren't feeling well, you'd be able to go, and maybe you're in the region and you don't want to go somewhere else. You could go there if you're not feeling well.
Bet the mortgage on black. You go,
it could happen.
That's some chest compressions right now.
Got a break. News is straight ahead.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
4 polls have former President Trump way ahead. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. They're Fox Business polls that give him a big lead in 2 of the first 3 Republican presidential contest states.
Former President Trump's lead in Iowa is 30 points over Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. In South Carolina, the Trump lead is even larger, 34 points over that state's former Governor Nikki Haley. More voters in both states agree it's more important to pick a nominee that can defeat President Biden in the general election. That candidate in both states is the former president.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Two others in that South Carolina poll are in double digits in the race, right behind Haley's 14%, Ron DeSantis at 13%, Tim Scott at 10%. Scott is in third in the Iowa poll at 11%. Parts of the Southwest will roast again. Phoenix could continue its record streak above 110 degrees. Today would be day 25, but there are fewer areas of the U.S. under heat warnings or advisories across the South. Some areas overseas have also been sweltering, like Greece, dealing with a record heat wave, and wildfires, especially on the island of Rhodes, where 19,000 people were evacuated.
The hotel was literally crowded full of people. As soon as they said there's buses to the airport, we were, right, that's it, and it was chaos.
Months of controversy may come to a head today in Israel's parliament.
Thousands of people continue to take to the streets in Israel to protest the government's vote on judicial reform. It comes as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu continues to recover after emergency surgery to put in a pacemaker. Lawmakers will be voting on a, quote, reasonableness bill that would block the Israeli Supreme Court from voiding decisions or appointments that the court deems unreasonable.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty. There's finally communication with North Korea a week after an American soldier fled there. The U.S.-led UN command has started a conversation with North Korea, trying to get an update on Army Private Travis King across the border last week. America's listening to Fox News.
A whole generation knows little to nothing about our nation's darkest day, 9/11. But now the Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute is righting this wrong by educating kids in kindergarten through 12th grade. Their nonfiction first-person accounts are told through videos and the Discovering Heroes book series. The Institute offers full curriculum units, a speakers bureau, a mobile exhibit that's an interactive museum with 9/11 artifacts, and Russell F. Siller Memorial Scholarships for kids of program recipients. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Online at CordellCordell.com, 518-554, all zeros, 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203.
Sunshine and 63 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. Well, some residents in Manlius are concerned about a small protest that was held over the weekend. Officials say about 6 men gathered at the Swan Pond on Saturday, holding up signs that read "White Lives Matter," "Save the Swans and Immigration," and "Protect the Historic American Nation." The mayor of Manlius, Paul Worrall, says the rally was not approved and the protesters, quote, "just showed up." People are still asking questions, though, about who the group was and if they plan to return. Meanwhile, state officials breaking ground on a $1 billion project to transform the Interstate 81 viaduct. Governor Kathy Hochul says the $2.85 billion project will build a community grid that connects neighborhoods and enhances mobility, and it will improve access to interstate highways. Officials will eventually open a community engagement center to answer questions and share employment opportunities. The project will improve roadway connectivity for neighborhoods in Buffalo, the Bronx, Rochester, and Albany as well. Communities in upstate New York impacted by flooding recently are being approved for financial help. Governor Hochul announcing that President Biden has approved a request for a major disaster declaration. The declaration unlocks federal assistance to support recovery and reconstruction efforts in much of upstate New York and the Hudson Valley. The counties can use the money for debris removal, emergency protective measures, and for repairs to public buildings and infrastructure that was damaged or washed away by the storms. A Syracuse man dead of an apparent drowning at Southwick Beach State Park in Henderson. This happened over the weekend, according to state police. When officials arrived on the scene, they found 40-year-old O'Donnell Archange receiving CPR from other swimmers. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. An autopsy has been scheduled. However, no foul play is suspected. And we've been telling you about many concerts coming to the State Fair. We're less than a month away, Bill, from the kickoff of the New York State Fair.
Well, it's awesome. We've been promoting the State Fair for 6 months.
Today's the 24th. It kicks off the 23rd. Well, I'll promote a different one today instead. It's called Nipperfest. The second annual musical event took place in central New York in Schenectady over the weekend. The festival features over a dozen bands playing 2 stages and celebrates local artists. The name comes from Nipper, the large dog on the top of 991 Broadway in Albany. I just found that name interesting. Nipperfest, a concert that happened over the weekend. WIBX News Time 7:05. Your Weather Center forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News, and we are looking at quite a warm-up for this week. Slight chance of showers this afternoon, and if we do get it, a storm could present gusty winds or some heavy rainfall. Otherwise, mostly sunny today with a high of 85. Chance of showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight. Otherwise, partly cloudy, a low of 62. Tuesday, chance of showers and thunderstorms mid-afternoon. Otherwise, sunny and a high of 84. Wednesday, sunny with a high of 90. Thursday, chance of showers. Otherwise, sunny and hot with a high of 92. Friday, mostly sunny, but again, we do have that chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon with a high of 89. WIBX News Time 7:06. Right now, we have sunny skies and 63 degrees at 7:07. In sports, a rough weekend for the Mets as they dropped the final 2 in Boston at Fenway Park. 6-1 was the final on Sunday. Carlos Carrasco charged with the loss after allowing 5 runs on 10 hits over just 2 1/3 innings pitched. Francisco Lindor had the Mets' lone RBI. The Mets now 46-53. They head to the Bronx for a 2-game series against the Yankees starting tomorrow night. The Yankees, meanwhile, might be heating up. They swept the Royals this weekend. 8-5 was your final on Sunday. Luis Severino credited with the win, striking out 5, allowing 3 runs over 5 2/3. Gleyber Torres and Anthony Rizzo each went deep for the Yankees, now tied for 4th in the AL East at 53 and 47. Michael Jordan's run as the majority owner of the Charlotte Hornets is coming to a close. The NBA's Board of Governors approving the sale of the franchise to a group led by Rick Schnall and Gabe Plotkin. James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks, was the only league owner to vote against the sale. The estimated $3 billion sale is expected to be completed within the next 1 to 2 weeks. Jordan will stay on as a minority stake owner in the franchise. NFL running backs meeting up this weekend to talk about their displeasure with a depressed market for running backs. Among the participants, Cleveland Browns running back Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley of the Giants, and Josh Jacobs of the Raiders. The players kicked around ideas during the call. No major plans, though, emerged from that meeting. Barkley is not expected to report to training camp, which opens on Wednesday for the Giants. Need to mention here Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. We'll talk about this coming up as our man Uncle Smitty was in Cooperstown this weekend. Some thin crowds, he thought. First baseman Fred McGriff and third baseman Scott Rowland were each inducted into the Cooperstown Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame on Sunday. Rowland helped the Cardinals capture the 2006 World Series and become the 12th Hall of Famer to feature a Cardinals logo on his plaque. Rowland was voted into the Hall of Fame in his 6th year of eligibility. Meanwhile, McGriff, the crime dog, joins the Hall after being elected unanimously by the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee. Notably, he won a World Series with the Atlanta Braves during the 1995 season and himself was a 5-time baseball All-Star.
I want to take Jack, who's been waiting on the line here. Hi, Jack in Rome. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. What's going on?
I want to thank Jeff and Davey for the great job that they did over the week that you were, or 2 weks that you were gone.
Me too.
Thank you, Jack.
I'd rather listen to them than repeat to you, but
well, thank you for the honesty.
I got a brand new gripe.
Okay, I love a brand new gripe.
Get rid of the bike lane issue.
Okay.
I got a new issue.
All right.
Grocery cart lanes.
Grocery cart lanes. That's a good point. It's a great way to transport your mattress.
All the homeless people with their grocery carts that they take from the stores.
Yeah,
they run them with their bottles and cans up and down the sidewalk.
At least there's a lane. There'd be a lane for them. There'd be a proper place for them to transport.
I think there ought to be a lane.
Okay.
Think of how much safer scrap metaling would be, too. You always see them going over that
scrap
hill.
The bikes.
You're right. Yeah.
Scrap the bikes because people don't know how to ride a bike anymore.
That is true, yeah. At least these carts have 4 wheels and a compartment where you can put a lot of stuff. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's good for you, too. It's great exercise, pushing that up Genesee Street.
I got thinking about that because I'm in Utica a lot, and I sit like up at Burstone Road there, the intersection, and
you see them all the
I sit at
time.
McDonald's, and I just see it every day.
Yep,
It's just ridiculous the stuff you see.
All right, Jack. Good stuff. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You
Good
do
to
the
see
same.
you back.
All right. Thank you so much.
All
I
right,
appreciate
bye-bye.
it. Where is Congress this week? Ryan Schmelz is with Fox News Radio and is on the line right now. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How was your weekend?
It was good. Good weekend. I'm coming off a vacation as well, so
love it.
Things are going to heat up here. We're going to get humid like everywhere else in the world.
Oh my goodness.
So how hot will things be in Washington this week in terms of Congress? What's on the agenda this week?
Right. I think it depends on what the issue is going to be and what we're going to be talking about, because there's a number of things that are going to get a lot of people's attentions. We have an oversight committee hearing looking at extraterrestrial life or the possibility of extraterrestrial life, as well as UAPs. But then we also have a number of funding bills that need to be passed before September 30th deadline that Congress is going to be debating. And we could have some bipartisanship on one, but there's a number that might have some testy moments when we talk about what this goes down to.
So on the issue of the UFOs, this is going to be somewhat interesting because there are apparently military members of the military who are claiming, we'll call them whistleblowers, who are claiming that we have an extraterrestrial vehicle in our possession and the remains of an extraterrestrial being in our possession. I believe we're going to hear that this week.
Yeah, those are all things that are going to be on the table when we talk about this hearing. You know, you have Tim Burchett, who's the member of Congress who's leading this, and he was kind of talking about this last week where, you know, he went to an Air Force base with a couple other members on the committee with him, and he says they got some substantial pushback from a number of generals who were on this base when they were trying to uncover or look at different documents related to UAPs and also footage. So they've been really complaining about a lot of the lack of transparency when it comes to this issue. And it's not just them. You have a number of Senate Democrats and Republicans as well, including Leader Schumer, who want there to be more transparency when it comes to the research that the U.S. government has done on UAPs. So certainly this has become a bipartisan issue.
Yeah.
What UAP again is what? Unidentified alien pilot?
No, it's unidentified anomalous phenomena, but we used to call it a UFO, but that's the new scientific term they're using for it.
We have to change it. Was somebody offended? Is that why we had to change the name? Were the aliens complaining?
I have no idea what the ultimate reasoning is.
It was discrimination,
I apologize.
I think if we're changing it, it's just to confuse us so that we'll look the other way and be like, I'm not even going to pay attention to this.
Well, I think, too, keep in mind that, pretty much now a UFO can be a balloon that's floating in the sky.
That
so
is
I think
true.
they probably needed a more official definition for it, considering the fact that we've had so many things we consider a UFO in recent memory.
Right.
And then the other thing is I had to laugh, too, because you have members of Congress showing up at a military base, poking around, asking questions, saying, we want to see this and we want to see that. They don't understand why the generals there are quite upset. I understand that's a member of our government and our representative, but they're, they need to have special privileges, I think, to see those things. How many one-term people could see something and go out there and just write a book about it or take it out of, write a movie about it, but have their own spin on it and interpretation, and totally misrepresent what it actually is. I agree. They shouldn't be able to just go in there and see anything they want.
Right, and from what we understand is that they had this agreement to go there and see that, but ultimately I think someone pointed out, too, that was really important is that these are, not members of the Intelligence Committee. They probably have a lot more access to this.
Yes.
But ultimately you have just this bipartisan effort to get a lot of this stuff declassified because they believe that the government right now is undertaking a very major overclassification process. And there's a number of key pieces of legislation that might get through with the NDAA bill that would ultimately declassify a lot of this information related to that.
I do find it interesting, though, that when you think about the UFO thing and alien beings, there's a lot that has to you got to take a really good leap in order to buy into all of this. yes, you do have former members of the military. Now, just because they're former members of the military doesn't mean these might not be crazy people.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's certainly possible. But keep in mind, the entire human race, all of the countries of the world, we can't be the only ones with any spotting or discovery or contact if it exists.
Right.
But that would mean that the entire world is in unison, which we all know that just is not the case. So they'd all have to keep it from their people. I mean, wouldn't it be something if one day, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, South Africa was like, all right, we're going to tell you all about everything. Here's the whole, in fact, line up. We've got them here in a museum. It's amazing to me to think that the entire world would be in unison and staying quiet.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's kind of been interesting that I've talked about since we've been covering this is, who would have thought it took aliens to bring people in America together and bring Congress together the way it has?
Yeah.
It's like, if the objects fly, Congress is united about it. That's kind of I think the new saying we're kind of going with here.
Okay, I like that. Because God forbid if the aliens are actually coming over on a boat, we're all divided over that issue. So they're two different, depends on the alien you're talking about. All right, Ryan, enough of this. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
All right, have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio.
By the way, coming up this afternoon, Uzbekistan will unveil an alien corpse and craft that they retrieved from the skies.
That's exactly the point. It's like, are we really? I mean, think about it. We've all. Well, listen, we'll be at war. We're going to have top secrets. We're going to try to come in and hack into your military secrets, et cetera, et cetera. But when it comes to letting the public know that aliens exist, we all agree on this one. We're going to keep it from everybody.
Yes.
I mean, sorry if somebody come forward.
Sorry if we bomb your energy grid, but just know I'll never share the UFO secrets that you and I share.
We can. I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. We got a break. It's 7:17. Coming up, Hobica's free money question of the day. We'll start out with a $100 free money question this morning, and it's a good one. And we'll do it coming right up. Stand by. 7:18 now at WIBX.
Hi, this is Lori with Express Employment Professionals. Are you looking for a new job, a career change, a position within your field? Express Employment Professionals is the staffing firm for you. Express has multiple job opportunities across many industries throughout our region. Are you an IT professional? Find that perfect company now. CNC machinists, HVAC and boiler mechanics, we've got the job for you. Are you a warehouse worker, machine operator, forklift driver? Find a better job now. Industrial painters, sheet metal workers, find that new job now. Carpenters, welders, the skilled trades, you're in demand. Bookkeepers, supply chain specialists, and administrative professionals, start a new career today. Our process is easy. Go to expressmohawkvalley.com to complete our online application and apply now. Our recruiters will call you to set up a meeting. You can also call our office at 315-790-5723. Express Employment Professionals. We make it our business to put you to work.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Ever heard of shingles? Kinda sounds harmless, right? Wrong. Shingles is a wicked painful rash that can last for weeks. People who've had it say it's the worst pain ever. It can even cause nerve damage. Shingles happens when the chickenpox virus you had as a kid gets reactivated. It's more common in people 50 plus and in those with weakened immunity. A vaccine is available right now that's 90% effective. So see your provider, talk to your Kinney pharmacist, or make an appointment at KinneyDrugs.com. You do not want shingles. Trust me.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, it is a Monday, and I don't know, I was trying to look at the calendar. It is not the last Monday of July.
No, actually, it's next Monday.
Next Monday is the last day of the month.
The last day, yeah.
And then here we are with August already. And are you looking at the store shelves already? Halloween all over the place.
Oh, stop it!
Back to school's been there for weeks.
Oh, jeez.
They're filling them up. We were in a store where they were actually putting up the Halloween display.
Are you kidding?
And
me?
I couldn't help myself. I had to walk up and go, it's too early for that.
I mean, we're more than 3 months away. I keep in mind.
Yeah.
I know Halloween's in October. It's the last day of October.
Yeah.
So you got all of August, September, the full month of October, and we have a week left here.
Yeah. They're announcing today, talking about the Memorial Day Parade next year. If you'd like to be in it, they're looking for bands and marching bands and all that. Yeah, it's crazy. Are you on this? A lot of people are. In fact, I think before we went away on vacation, I was talking about going on a new diet. And I don't know who it was. It just called in and said, just give up, go on Ozempic and get it over with. So is it the right thing to do, going on Ozempic?
Can you get on it that easily? That's my question. Can you just say, Doc, look, I've been going to the gym. I just need to shed 20 pounds. Can you give me the prescription there?
There's also a dietary supplement called berberine. Do I say that correctly? And it is gaining momentum on social media platforms, especially on TikTok, is where, of course, we get all of our medical information. It's calling it Nature's Ozempic. So if you're worried about Ozempic, maybe berberine might be the way to go. And on the line right now to help us out with this is Crystal Cruz. Crystal Cruz is an MBA fitness and wellness coach who can walk us through this whole thing. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. So am I pronouncing it correctly? Berberine?
Yeah.
All right. What do you think of this?
And what is it?
I think that, with social media and in today's society, we want a microwave minute. We want everything to happen so quickly. And, really it's discipline and habits that are really the answer.
Yeah.
And so what I find mostly is that there are some supplements out there that will help kind of kickstart maybe a weight loss journey. But what I'm seeing is that there are a lot of people that are trying for that quick fix, but they're not willing to put in the work. So I think it has to be a good combination. And I think what's happening is people are going to the doctors and they're saying, well, I'm just not getting results. Help me, make it faster so that I can see results faster. But what it's doing is that it's creating a shortage for these people that actually need it for diabetes, right?
Okay,
so,
right.
But the berberine can really help as a supplement, but it's not a quick fix or replacement to a healthy diet, good nutrition, and movement.
Okay.
When this first came out, I remember saying on the air that this would be like the next thing that everyone wanted to get a hold of, and they would have doctors prescribing it, whether or not they needed it. And a friend of mine texted me, and he said, this is going to be a very important drug for my daughter. She's young. I forget what.
You're talking about the berberine or the Ozempic?
The Ozempic.
Okay.
And that there was an issue with weight loss. I don't remember the particular issue, but he said this is going to be a very important thing for my daughter, and she's going to be on it. And what I was trying to say was, I'm not talking about people who medically need it. I'm talking about all the rest of us who always want to be 20 pounds lighter, and we're always looking for a shortcut to get there. And what it does is it deprives the people who actually need it of that drug, and that's what's going on now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
However, this supplement might be the answer or an answer.
It can be a start, but I think what I always recommend is to be under care by a doctor and a nutritionist and a proper coach, right? Someone that you can really take a look inside of all of your levels to make sure that, your body is going to process certain supplements in a healthy way. There are so many really bad side effects to this medication and these supplements that can cause nausea, like rectal bleeding, bloating, and it really can adversely affect your nervous system and your body, especially for women that are trying to have children. It really impacts, the fetal.
Well, they say the Ozempic, when you're on that, it does mess with your digestive system, and you will be probably dealing with, the diarrhea.
Yeah, definitely stay close to home.
Yeah, stay close to home. Okay.
There's positives and negatives to anything, right? You can find anything on the internet.
That is true, yes.
I always just say, just move your body, recognize, this good fuel, proper nutrition, clean eating, and moving your body every day. Hydrating is a really good combination, and, there's really no replacement for that.
Right. Okay. All right, Crystalora Cruz, thank you for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You do the same.
To follow up on that last point from Crystalora there, I just want to shout out some of the gyms in our area. This is the way. This is the real life Ozempic. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
OB Fitness, Mohawk Valley Wellness, Upstate Empire Fitness, The Fitness Mill, Planet Fitness, Beachbody Boot Camp. I mean, there's a number of places you can go. Just you got to get.
But if you're
get moving.
But if you're not going to get moving, and not everybody is, right?
Correct.
So should there be something for those people? If they just can't seem to get into a workout regimen, should there be something for those people that allows them to lose weight? Would that be better? But, if you don't use your muscles, if you're not walking, if you're not exercising in some way, you're going to lose that strength. And as you get older, it's much more difficult to get it back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so that I don't disagree. It's a great thing to be able to take something and then you don't have a weight loss or you don't have a weight issue anymore because it, wears on your joints and there's some obviously negative health impacts that go along with it. But you were saying, though, shouldn't there be something for those who can't get into a regimen and don't want to, go to the gym every day or the case is? The only problem with that is, again, I think this is what happens. You'd be like, oh, look, Bob over there. Bob hasn't been in the gym in 15 years, but he just lost 40 pounds. Well, if you're going to the gym and maybe you've hit a wall or a plateau, as they call it, then you go, well, I'm not going to be going to the gym. I just want to take whatever Bob's taking.
I do see stuff like that happening. However, that's what education is all about, right? You're educating people and you know better. Exercising and weight loss is together the right way to go. But for those people that either can't or will not exercise, being a lighter lump on a log is better than being a heavier lump on a log.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and most of us take the congressional approach, which is kick the can, I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah,
Next time, I'll be on it. Next time.
No doubt about it. All right. Over the weekend was the Baseball Hall of Fame. The induction ceremonies. Davey, our man with the plan, was there. Tight on that mic and loud because you know what's going on with that microphone. Davey.
Yes, sir.
You feel the crowds were a little bit light this weekend.
Yeah, I was walking downtown on Saturday. It was usually when I walk down, it's like arm to
shoulder to shoulder.
shoulder to shoulder. But it was.
Well, what do you mean? It was light. They're all on a Ozempic out there?
No. It was just.
It was a thin crowd.
Thin crowd.
Yeah.
And but there were a lot of major leaguers, a lot of I should say former major leaguers and Hall of Famers
And movie stars.
And movie stars. Explain that.
Well, one of the businesses had the two people from The Sandlot come in, Ham and Squints.
Okay. Ham and Squints.
Yeah.
And people were getting the autograph?
Yep.
There was a long line?
When I was in line, there was like 15 people. I got in and got out.
How much for that autograph?
I paid $45 for Squints.
For Squints.
It was $99 for Hams.
Okay. You didn't do Hams?
No.
These were which movie were they in?
The Sandlot.
Which is a classic. It's one of the few movies from my childhood I was able to get my son to actually sit through the whole thing.
And he's the one of them is the heavy guy, right? The heavy kid.
The catcher.
Yeah, the
Hams
catcher.
is the catcher.
Yeah.
That yells in the movie "Cannonball," and Squints is the one that makes out with the lifeguard. And
Okay.
Yeah, he pretends to drown so he can get CPR, and then he kisses the lifeguard.
Right. And which movies are these guys currently in?
I don't.
None. They were in that movie, and that's it.
Well,
so
they've done a few other movies, but not that I know of.
Nothing that's been big.
Big, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like they were in Star Wars or anything huge.
Yeah.
So wow, $99 for an autograph.
I thought that was too much money, to be honest with you. And as a matter of fact, I made this point. I just mentioned it on Friday's show that I thought that $99 for who was a former child actor, maybe he's been in a couple things since, that's fine, was too much money. So we ran back we run a best of here in the evening, and that segment aired on Friday night, and I start getting messages and matter of fact, it was somebody in the building, and he's like, I think you're wrong on your take on Squints or Hams or whichever one it was getting $100 for an autograph, and officially it was $99.
He's saying it's worth it.
He was saying it's worth it, and I said, "Look, I'm not saying
it is worth it if you're willing to pay."
That's true, and I'm not saying he's not worth $100. I'm just saying, it's not. Everyone's going to Cooperstown this past weekend. You're going if you're a diehard baseball fan. You want to go for the Baseball Hall of Fame, at least I assume.
Well, these guys, though, were in a movie that included
a baseball movie, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So it was my point that if you're going out there, essentially, it's like, let's see, let me think of a guy. Let me think of a guy here. Name me like Lenny Harris.
Okay.
Lenny Harris, former pinch hitter, all-time pinch hit leader. You name it.
Not a name that a non-baseball fan would know.
Yeah, and not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Right? So, if you're going to a wrestling convention and everyone there is a huge wrestling fan, and then this other person who's a famous person and has done some good things, and I'm not saying he's not worth $100. I'm just saying it's tough to get it there when everyone's there to see Kevin Nash or Hulk Hogan or this one or that one.
Well, it's like having I see the connection, obviously. It's like having at the NHL All-Star Weekend, having actors from Slapshot come in.
Right.
Now, they're not hockey players. They're not NHL players, but they were in a big hockey movie, so I see the tie-in. These guys, to me, are a little bit of a reach. But hey, Davey, were people waiting in line? Yes.
Yeah, they were There were people waiting in line.
Okay, what are some of the Hall of Famers going for, though? If these guys are going for $99,
I was talking to a guy that was from Rochester, and he had a seat from the old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
He had like Don Manley on there. A couple others. He went across the street to get Joe Torre, and I said, "Can I just ask you how much did you pay for that?" He said $200 for Joe Torre.
Wow!
For the auto itself, or because it was a seat?
No, for the auto itself.
Just the autograph.
Okay.
It's $200.
Well, I do, because sometimes they'll say, it's $50 for a bat, it's $60 for a glove, it's $20 for a hat,
or you could pay for just an autograph,
just a picture. Yeah, right.
Pete Rose was signing for $70.
Pete Rose for $70, yet this guy's getting $99.
Andre Dawson.
Are you kidding me?
First of all, Pete Rose signing for $70 is a lot. But you are standing there with Pete Rose. That's kind of a cool thing.
Pete Rose was in one of the stores that was on Main Street
But
in Cooperstown.
Pete Rose's autograph, the value of his autograph is plummeted. It's not going to be worth anything.
There's a trillion of them. He's doing autographs all the time.
All he does.
But he's
sign
been
autographs.
blacklisted from baseball. How many people?
Yeah.
Andre,
he's one of the greats. There's no doubt about it.
Andre Dawson, who's a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer.
Yep.
$50.
Wow. Who was the highest you saw?
David Ortiz, they said, was $300.
$300. Who did you get?
I got Jack Clark,
Okay.
ex-Yankee, Cardinal, and San Diego Padres. I paid $30.
Okay. All right.
But you also
And I also got Squints for $45.
for $40. For $45. I just
Are these autographs that you will turn around and sell down the road?
I don't-
or
I don't
you don't
sell any of mine.
You just keep everything.
No, yeah.
As a
he's
fan.
a collector.
As a fan. All right.
I mean, I mostly do majority wrestling and
Yeah.
baseball,
What-
NASCAR.
Now, okay, let's compare now. Tell me the last 3 wrestling autos you got and how much were they?
I went to one last Sunday. I paid $40, and I'm going to one tomorrow.
For who?
Madison Rain.
I don't even know who
And
that
I'm
is.
going to one tomorrow for two AEW superstars who's going to be in Albany on Wednesday.
All right.
They're going to signing in Albany tomorrow. I'm paying $60 a piece for both of them.
Who are they?
Brett Baker and Adam Cole, baby.
Okay.
Say it again.
Is that how that's pronounced?
Well, that's what he pronounced. Adam Cole, baby.
Okay. I don't know who those people are.
I
For
think that
$60.
should take $20 off your autograph right there for having that stupid pronunciation. Yeah. So there you go.
Yet the Hawk, Andre Dawson, Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, is getting $40.
$40. Wow. Okay, interesting stuff there, Davey. But you enjoyed the weekend, and the crowds were not as big.
Yeah, and then watching the induction ceremony yesterday on MLB, it looked like there was
Not as many people.
at the
And
ceremony,
what beautiful
too.
weather, too. They had a perfect day for it. Okay, good stuff there, Davey. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Let's do, coming up, we'll talk about the most over-talked about topic of the year so far, and that is complete streets. Now it looks like they're all gone. It's going to be moving back to 4 lanes like we were in the very beginning, before this all started. Samantha Colosimo-Testa coming up to tell us where we are right now. Let's do our Hobica free money question of the day, though. We start the week off with $100. Hobica's free money question of the day. I have a great question. Why not take a C-note away? Let's go with caller number 3, Davey. Is that all right?
Sure.
Third caller right now through the lines. Caller number 3 at 315-736-0186. Only $100, but it could be your $100. We'll do it next on WIBX.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Are you in the market for a vehicle that's like new but don't want to break the bank? Look no further than GM certified pre-owned vehicles at Steed Pawnee Chevrolet. With rates as low as 4.9% for 60 months on GM certified vehicles, you can find new roads without the high price tag. Check out the 2022 Chevy Trailblazer LT all-wheel drive with only 36,000 miles, or the 2022 GMC Arcadia all-wheel drive SLE with only 15,000 miles. With a 6-year and 100,000-mile powertrain, limited warranty on all, and an additional 1-year bumper-to-bumper limited warranty, you can drive with confidence knowing your vehicle is covered. Visit us online anytime at SteedPawneeChevy.com to browse our complete inventory. Steed Pawnee Chevrolet, Route 28 in Herkimer. See why it's always easy to do business at Steed Pawnee Chevrolet, your family-owned and operated dealership. Customer must qualify top tier through GM Financial. All taxes and fees due on delivery must take delivery by July 31st, 2023.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, coming up, we'll speak with Samantha Colosimo Testa. Is she calling us, or is she coming in? Or
Yes, she's calling.
All right, let me go to Hilda in Rome. Hello, Hilda. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Well, I'm awake anyway.
You're awake. Listen, we're going to take a shot at this, and let's hope that that it all works out for you, and you win Hobeika's free money. It's from the the Hobeika law firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika, at 315-724-1600 is the phone number. And Hilda, here is your question. You'll have 7 seconds to answer, and here it is. The QR code, or quick response code, was first used to keep track of these parts. What kind of parts? Ready, go.
I have no idea.
Take a guess.
Oh, I can't even guess.
Anybody on this one?
I don't know.
QR code, or quick response code, was actually invented to keep track of these parts.
It's not like organs that were donated,
No,
right? Like,
no. Davey's going to take a
I was
shot
thinking
at it.
body parts.
Davey's going to take a shot. Not body parts, but
car parts.
Car parts. He's absolutely right. Ding,
Really?
ding, ding, ding.
Oh, no kidding.
It's auto parts, yeah. Very nice, Davey.
Where's my bell?
Hilda, we will give you the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card. It's a $25 gift card. It's good at any of the restaurants or the concession stands or even the gift shop at the Adirondack Bank Center. We're talking about Aquavino, which is over in New Hartford right now. Delicious. They're doing a great job. Babe's 72 Tavern and Grill when it reopens in the fall. Taylor and the Cook and any of the concession stands at Nexus or the Adirondack Bank Center. Hilda, things are good. We didn't win, but you get something out of it anyway.
It's good. Okay.
All right. You stand by, because Davey's, we're going to mail it to you, okay? Davey's going to take care of you.
All righty.
All right,
Thank
Hilda.
you very
Thank
much.
you. Have a
Thank
wonderful day in Rome. Thank you.
Okay, same to you.
Thank you.
A couple of quick comments via the app, if I could.
Mm-hmm.
John,
I have no computer this morning. It's burning me up.
John in Bridgewater says, Jeff, it's not money out of your pocket, so Davey spends $45. And not all the people who went over the weekend are not baseball fans. Look, I would assume that 90% of those going to Cooperstown for Hall of Fame induction weekend are baseball fans. Maybe I'm wrong. But I wasn't criticizing Davey. Davey, you spend your money whatever you want. And Matt and Clinton also says, Adam Koch, Bay, you go Davey. I'm not knocking Davey for the autographs or anything. I'm just saying I thought it struck me as that particular actor, that was a little bit of a high price, considering you have Baseball Hall of Famers on Baseball Hall of Fame weekend charging $70. It just
John, and to be fair, John, I mean, criticism of how we spend our money is not anything new, and you know this as well as I do. The moment you get married, the criticism begins. What do you need to spend money on that for? Why are you wasting money on that? I mean, that's all I hear.
Yeah, it's a one-way street, too, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, to the point, John, where I've just become numb to it. And you're right. It's
a one-way
street.
You don't ask your wife, why did you buy that?
Why would you buy that?
Not unless you're looking for an argument.
I only buy things that I need. Unlike you. Okay. Apparently. A couple of other quick comments here. Fun fact, Old Timers Nipper was the name of the dog for RCA Victor on the records, whose head was cocked listening to an old-time phonograph, and the tagline was his master's voice, indicating the sound was so pure that the dog couldn't tell the difference between the phonograph, record player, and reality. That's a good point, Mike. Thank you. And by the way, Complete Street's theme song should be Maxine Nightingale's Right Back Where We Started From. I'd play it for you, but I don't have a computer that's working this morning.
And as I mentioned in that story, there is I'm told it's the world's largest statue of that dog Nipper is on top of a building in Albany. It's top of a warehouse in North Broadway.
I would expect that may have come from RCA.
Oh yeah, no, I think it did. I think it totally
did. Which
I
think was owned at one point by GE.
And
could be wrong.
The music festival they had this weekend was called Nipper Fest.
The Nipper Fest. Samantha Colosimo Testa on the line right now. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you today?
Good. You seem annoyed. What's wrong?
Not annoyed.
I don't know. You just sound very directive.
I've been on hold for about 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, so there was something there. There was something. See, it's amazing how I can feel it.
You wanted to ask.
Yeah. Well,
I'll tell
listen.
you now, I guess.
I mean, it says a lot about me that I'm able to think of other people's feelings. I mean,
well, if you're so thoughtful, don't make her wait next time.
That's a good point.
Listen, I just waited longer than it took them to implement Complete Street, so I guess that's what I'm here to talk about.
What? I mean, aren't you embarrassed though? But at this,
I'm not embarrassed.
On,
I'm embarrassed
off,
on behalf of
on, off, back on, back off. I mean,
I'm not embarrassed whatsoever. I'm embarrassed on the members that chose to implement this without having any input.
Well, that's embarrassing.
From
I mean,
that's
the embarrassment that I'm talking about.
You can't say that I'm embarrassed.
Well, I mean, you're
embarrassed of other actions that these council people have taken too. But I mean, it is what it is.
You're embarrassed. You're embarrassed for them.
For them.
Okay. All right.
But I did hit a laugh last week when I think Celeste was on the radio and she said that the administration could have done more. They didn't do much. That they're only part-time council people. It's like, well, what do you think was going to happen when you implemented something? Usually, you talk to all the business owners and everything like that, prior to implementing something, and the residents in the city, and you do all that before. You don't do that after the fact that that's already done, and then place blame on everybody else. But I mean, it was infuriating to watch and to go through several meetings and have to explain yourself to the reason why you didn't think that this was possible, and then lie and say that the experts in public safety were involved in this process, yet everyone had said that they weren't involved prior to this being implemented. So again, it's a lot of self-serving purposes to say, oh, look what I did, rather than truly finding a way that this could have worked inside the city and had it been implemented.
Can I ask you to be fair? First of all, how many of the members initially voted for this?
I think it went 6-3.
Yeah, I mean, so think about that. There were 6 people who voted for this, and now all of a sudden, we're doing an about face and.
Well, I think that they were under the impression that a lot of business owners were talked to, because at the meeting that night that this was originally implemented, they were told that, they had talked to the business owners, and, as, things started to unravel and unfold, they realized that not everybody, was involved in the process. And I think that, they said, again, at a Wednesday's meeting, public safety was the number one concern. Now, the police department and fire department are not involved in the engineering designs of Complete Street, but they should have been consulted prior to that being implemented, especially with the change coming to Genesee Street. And when they said that they weren't involved, what do you think? It's like, guys, come on. I mean, it's
so
you should have done this before.
So let me ask you, the concept of Complete Streets. This is something that was an idea brought forth by you before,
right?
And so, what changes your mind on it now?
Well, because number one, the idea of Complete Streets is not changed. I still think that every time you design a road, it should be either pedestrian friendly, vehicle friendly, so on and so forth. Just because you implement Complete Streets in a road doesn't necessarily mean a bike lane has to be implemented into that concept. So it could be about crosswalks, it could be about signage, it could be about making sure that the sidewalks are handicap accessible, the width of them. This implement, and that's what I said. What's infuriating, and I had said this to you guys before. They implemented this design with a bike lane, and then still called it Complete Streets when the bike lane wasn't implemented, and they ended a buffer lane, and they never really changed any of the design. So what did they what was that end up being called? Because that's no longer addressing the whole idea and the concept of Complete Streets. Mm-hmm. On top of the fact that you've truly got to understand even when they did this, they were supposed to go to Cottage Place. They only did 3 blocks of Genesee Street, and it caused mass havoc because guess what? They really didn't take into design. They should never put it together without having the traffic lights that were new, because guess what? You had traffic backed up. I mean, I even think that once they put the new traffic lights in, and the traffic lights weren't bought or purchased because of Complete Streets, and that's another thing that I wanted to bring up. Those were purchased because even the traffic study for CNS, that was done for the design going into the hospital. It had nothing to do with Complete Streets. So it was disingenuous for any council member to say that all those studies were done because of Complete Streets. Those studies were done was because they wanted to address the traffic concerns going into the new hospital footprint. And like I said, again, this is all the stuff that you want. This is where I find embarrassing, is because now you have to have council members go and combat every lie and nonsense that they've brought out since this was implemented back in October.
Yep.
And I think, listen, I will never defend Rob Palmieri to an extent, but you can't place blame on him because supposedly he wasn't even involved in the process from the beginning.
What about?
So why do you expect him to do your job?
Yep. And are you fearful that if Celeste Friend becomes mayor of Utica, that she will find a way to, maybe through executive order, make this happen? Is that possible?
Well, I mean, listen, they that's another thing that they said, that the public safety commissioner can implement this, that, and the third. Again, let's look at the Varick Street design. Was the Common Council involved in that process for shutting down roads, for shutting down that road? Did we have to pass a resolution in order for the mayor to do a temporary order? No.
Right.
And again, you involve the council in that process for Complete Streets, but not Varick Street. Does that make any sense?
So,
no.
and then your take on Varick Street.
Yeah, right. But we didn't pass a resolution.
I know, but I'm asking your opinion on Varick Street.
Oh, what's my take? I have no idea how they expected to get any true understanding of what they wanted done in one weekend.
Right.
But again, I don't know if they talked to all the business owners. I mean, that was kind of confusing too, because it's like you had business owners posting on their Facebook, well, you could still come to our restaurant. Our restaurant's not shut down, or you could still park there prior to 7 or 8 p.m. So, I mean, again, it's like, who talks to anybody before anything's even done? I mean, it's just everything's flying by the seat of their pants. But that's what happens when you've been in control and you have the majority for so long, that it just comes to, well, guess what? I don't have to talk to anybody. I could just do what I want. And that's unfortunately what you've seen over the past several years of, having an idea and just doing it without having any true consultation with any of the, the business owners.
I have Mike here saying it doesn't matter. Who cares about all of this? Just shows how shallow the council is. How would you respond to him?
I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean shallow? Like
well,
saying that they, like I just said, that they can do whatever they want because they have a majority, and that goes back to even last year in January when the council changed the committee system, and they did that because they wanted the control with the majority that they had. And when I talk about majority, it was that Democratic majority, so they could even introduce legislation, but it was only done by a majority vote. So now you have, the process of committee systems. Our meeting was 4.5 hours on Wednesday because we don't meet prior. So you discuss 17 pieces of legislation in a 4.5 hour time span and expect that you're even supposed to get the best out of what you can, through that. So, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, not saying that the council, was perfect prior to them changing the committee systems, but at least there was some type of discussion where you sat people in a room and you said, hey, what's your idea on this? And then if it didn't work out, everybody could collectively have said, oh, you know what, we tried it, it didn't work out, here it is.
I think I think what he meant, obviously shallow would be not deep, but I think what he meant by that was basically saying weak. It'd be a weakness. Being shallow would be not deep with integrity. I think that's where he was implying.
And I think that if you look at what's happened, I mean, the majority has controlled this narrative for the past year and a half. So I think that if you do look at the 5 or 6 or 7+ members that have been in this tight grip hold of a majority, has caused this mass chaos, and that's why I get even more infuriated when you've got mayoral candidates talking, oh, this is what we've done, and council members, oh, yeah, you've done it, but look at what you've caused over the past year and a half as well.
Okay.
And I think that if you want to take the responsibility of having that majority, you need to take the responsibility of having that downfall when that majority doesn't work out as well.
Okay.
I mean, the council even received a Board of E&E transfer the other day for ARPA funding, and this is something that that needs to be addressed too. The mayor had put together all these projects, and the council wasn't involved, and wasn't allowed to give any type of allocation, and now the council is receiving transfers, and it's like, so how do you expect the council to allocate money when they originally weren't even involved in the process? So there's a number of things that have gone on in this past year and a half that have been really eye-opening, and I think that any mayoral candidate that you talk moving forward really needs to address the concerns of how much lack of transparency that this council has. I mean, let's put it like this: they have had more involvement and more transparency in a school board, a school board meeting than they actually have in their own legislative meeting. And that I find infuriating too, because it's like, how do you criticize one board when you guys passed a piece of legislation that changed the 4-block radius? And that's just one example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's since we're talking about it, but it has happened several times over the past year and a half. And I've explained I've brought my frustration to you guys, and unfortunately, until something like this happens, they're going to have to learn to take responsibility for their actions.
Speaking with Samantha Colosimo-Testa, councilperson with the city of Utica.
Okay, couple quick hits here so we can put a bow on Genesee Street. Did I hear during the meeting, or maybe you said to me on the air, 15 of 16 businesses, they did a survey, 15 of 16 businesses they said they had no knowledge of Complete Streets before it started?
Or supported the concept.
Okay. Who was the one? Was it Character Coffee? Was the only one?
I don't know. It could have been.
That's
I'm not
Katie
entirely
Aiello's.
sure.
And by the way, was there like a big altercation that I missed while I was gone?
With what?
Some sort of an involving Katie Aiello?
I mean, that's something that Katie Aiello is going to have to come on the radio for. So I don't
know anything about it. I'm just hearing rumblings. Minaski's snickering, though. What are you smiling about? What did I miss?
It's all word of mouth as of now, but I guess there's a police report of an incident with Katie and a city employee. So until anybody gets the actual police report,
that's what I had heard.
I can't comment on it.
Okay.
But that's that.
It's amazing what you can hear when you're halfway across the world. It's incredible. It's unbelievable.
I hear what I hear, and I'm,
Yeah.
Okay, so when do they change the roads back? I was away this.
We were not given a time frame. I mean, if they want it done, it would have happened already. I mean, they passed it on a Wednesday, and then the road was changed on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's going to be up to the administration to give a timeline. And
can I ask
what they work
okay.
out with the engineering department.
And then I have 40 seconds. Whatever happened to we're going to pave all the roads in Utica?
Well, again, we passed a referendum, back in, I think it was 2016, to pave every road inside the city. And I think that it's the administration was the one that was left to do the job with the engineering department. They were supposed to rate the roads. They were supposed to put it out, on a city website, and everybody was supposed to figure out what road was supposed to be done. And we never received that.
All right.
So that's going to be, and even whoever, in this new administration could also do that. So it's not like this is something that
should continue with that. Okay.
It can continue that moving forward. Bob.
All right, Samantha, thank you. Have a wonderful day and a great week. Thank you.
All right, guys. You too. Right. Take care.
Thanks. Samantha Colosimo Testa, WIBX Utica Rome. It's 8 o'clock.
Trying to get information out of North Korea. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The U.S.-led UN Command has started a conversation hoping to get an update on Travis King, the American soldier who fled to North Korea. Republican Congressman Michael McCall tells ABC's This Week.
When they take an American, particularly a soldier, captive, they exact a price for that, and that's what I worry about.
King went to North Korea a week ago instead of returning to the U.S. to face military discipline after being jailed over an alleged assault in South Korea. More protests in Israel. Ahead of a vote today on controversial judicial reform.
That bill focuses on the reasonableness clause that gives the Supreme Court here the ability to overrule a parliament vote. Protesters have gathered for 29 straight weeks to voice concern over the changes put forward by Israel's far-right government.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Jerusalem. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is pushing the reform. He just got out of a hospital today after an emergency heart procedure. Former President Trump has big leads in two more Republican 2024 polls ahead of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis by 30 points in Iowa.
46% to 16%. That advantage for the former president holds across key demographics, including the very conservative and those with and without college degrees.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The other Fox Business poll gives the former president a 34-point lead in another early contest state, South Carolina. That state's former governor, Nikki Haley, is second, then Ron DeSantis third. Twitter's rebranding itself. Elon Musk, who made controversial changes to the social media platform after buying Twitter, has removed the Bluebird logo, replacing it with a black and white X. There's a new queen of the box office.
Hey, Barbie. Can I come to your house tonight?
Barbie had the biggest opening weekend for any movie this year, $155 million in ticket sales, almost double Oppenheimer, which debuted its second. America's listening to Fox News.
A whole generation knows little to nothing about our nation's darkest day, 9/11. But now the Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute is righting this wrong by educating kids in kindergarten through 12th grade. Their nonfiction first-person accounts are told through videos and the Discovering Heroes book series. The Institute offers full curriculum units, a speakers bureau, a mobile exhibit that's an interactive museum with 9/11 artifacts, and Russell F. Siller Memorial Scholarships for kids of program recipients. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 518-554-0000. 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203.
All right, we have some sunshine to start. 64 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. Communities across upstate New York, including parts of the Hudson Valley and some parts of central New York impacted by flooding recently, are getting some financial help from the federal government. Governor Kathy Hochul announcing that President Joe Biden has approved her request for a major disaster declaration. Fortunately, much of the Mohawk Valley was spared from that flooding recently. The declaration unlocks federal assistance to support recovery and reconstruction through parts of upstate New York and the Hudson Valley that were devastated by those floods. The counties can use the money for debris removal, emergency protective measures, and for repairs to public buildings and infrastructure. Some residents in Manlius say they're concerned. There was a small protest over the weekend about 6 men gathering at the Swan Pond holding up signs that read White Lives Matter, Save the Swans, End Immigration, and Protect the Historic American Nation. The mayor of Manlius, Paul Worrall, says the rally was not approved and the protesters, quote, just showed up on Saturday.
I'm wondering, do you have to approve a protest? I guess you'd need a permit, but
to gather, yeah.
To gather. And then the other thing is, isn't this like an old topic? Why are we bringing this back?
I think...
And I know the Swan thing is not old, but the White Lives, all lives matter versus Black Lives Matter during that. Isn't that an argument we had 2 years ago?
If not more.
Yeah.
I think, though, this is being, like, there's one of the signs allegedly read, Save the Swans, End Immigration. I think this is about the migrants coming, those seeking asylum, and then going to New York City and then being pushed upstate.
It sounds like a bit of a parody that they're being a bit sarcastic.
Maybe.
Right? Save the Swans. Everybody's worried about the Swan, when meanwhile our borders are just being overrun. Maybe that's where they're going with this.
Could be. New York State officials also breaking ground on a $1 billion project to transform the Interstate 81 viaduct. Governor Kathy Hochul says the $2.85 million project will build a community grid connecting neighborhoods and enhancing mobility while improving access to the interstate highway. Officials say when eventually opening a community engagement center to answer any questions, and they will share employment opportunities there as well. Coming up, we'll continue our conversation. Bill, we have some messages coming in about other projects being paid for in the city of Utica and how that money is being spent. We'll touch on that with listener comments coming up in a few minutes. WIBX News Time 8:06. Your Weather Center forecast calling for a very hot week ahead, especially as we get toward the end of the week. We have a slight chance of showers this afternoon and maybe a thunderstorm. Otherwise, mostly sunny today, a high of 84. If we do get showers and maybe some thunderstorms, we have some concern about severe thunderstorms that could bring damaging, gusty winds, heavy rainfall, and maybe some hail. Tonight, chance of showers and thunderstorms around midnight. Otherwise, partly cloudy, a low of 62. Tuesday, chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly mid-afternoon, a high of 84 degrees. Wednesday, sunny with a high of 90. Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 92. Chance of showers and thunderstorms Thursday afternoon as well. And Friday, again, mostly sunny. Chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high of 89. Right now, we have 64 degrees and sunshine. WIBX News Time is 8:06. In sports, the Mets still can't get out of their own way. They dropped the last two games at Fenway Park. Your final on Sunday was 6-1. Carlos Carrasco charged with the loss. Now the Mets prepare to take on the New York Yankees.
This is two games at Citi Field, right?
No. These are going to be at the Bronx.
Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two games in the Bronx Tuesday and on Wednesday.
And this year we're doing 4 games between the two teams
instead
as
of 6.
opposed to 6.
Yeah. So, would we split? Did we split the first time?
I thought the Mets won both games. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think
I'll check.
I think we split. The Yankees,
right.
meanwhile, coming off a sweep of the Kansas City Royals. Luis Severino got the win on Sunday. 8-5 was the final. Gleyber Torres and Anthony Rizzo each went deep in the victory. They're now 53-47, moving out of the basement, tied for 4th place. And, of course, they will host the Mets for a 2-game series starting tomorrow night. NFL running backs say they're fed up with the current system. Some of them do. Several star ball carriers took part in a Zoom call over the weekend discussing the depressed market for running backs. Among the participants, Cleveland Browns running back Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants, and Josh Jacobs of the Raiders. The players kicked around some ideas during the call, but no major plans emerged from that meeting. Barkley is not expected to report to Giants training camp, which begins on Wednesday. Buffalo Bills training camp gets underway. Our man Uncle Smitty actually will be at Bills training camp starting next Monday. Michael Jordan's run as the majority owner of the Charlotte Hornets coming to a close. Reports say the NBA's Board of Governors has approved the sale of the franchise to a group led by Rick Schnall. James Dolan, the owner of the New York Knicks, was the only member of owners to vote against that sale. The estimated $3 billion deal is expected to be completed within the next week or two. Jordan will stay on as a minority stake owner in the franchise.
I want to tell you the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck, Sedella, and everybody over there take a great deal of pride in that lightning fast drive-thru. You're in, you're out, and you are on your way. You can try up to 14 different flavors of lattes. Just delicious. Their espresso is perfect, and it's Seattle's best coffee. Fresh donuts, fresh bagels every day. It's Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Coming up, they're talking about impeachment of President Biden. This impeachment thing is becoming pretty common tool, I guess.
We do it once or twice per term.
Yeah, I think that's where we are today. We'll get into that. Also, some comments, including money spent, how the ARPA funds are being spent locally. And in some cases, man, it just seems like, we've got all this money. Let's just find something stupid to spend it on.
Yes, and I also think some of it's being used as kindling for a bonfire.
I've heard that. Yeah, we'll get into it. Coming up, it's 8:10 at WIBX.
Hi, it's Jordan from Little Falls Lumber. Summer is a great time to freshen up the look of your home, and we have you covered. We stock a variety of name brand products from GAF shingles, LP vinyl siding, Sierra Pacific windows, to Moisture Shield composite decking, and premium grade pressure treated decking. We have options to fit any budget. Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations, Little Falls, Syracuse, and Schenectady, to see what we have in store, or visit us at littlefallslumber.com.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 518-554-0000. 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203.
The Munson Arts Festival returns to downtown Utica with a car show on Sunday, July 23rd and continues through Saturday, July 29th. Experience the best of the local art scene for free with a sidewalk art show, evening concerts, and so much more. Don't miss fun, family-friendly activities each day of the week, like children's crafts, a petting zoo, and art story with Utica Public Library. Starts 10 a.m. each day. See the full schedule at munson.art. That's munson.art.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, and the last time I was up at WIBX with the Keeler Show, when I wasn't shutting down hecklers in the comedy club, I was learning all about Bill and Robin Mongeau and their amazing philosophy of buying and selling homes at River Hills Properties. Folks, when you list your home with River Hills, you're getting an extra level of service it is not available with other agencies. And I, for one, can't imagine having people I don't know wandering through my home when I'm not there. It's bad enough I've got Lincoln throwing his keg parties when I'm on the road. But also, that's the way houses are sold up in Utica. But not with River Hills. Your River Hills listing agent is there every time your house is shown. They turn the lights on, they answer questions, and they make sure no one's going through your medicine cabinet. It happens. Trust me, I've done it to a few people. Not proud. But seriously, list your home with River Hills Properties and reduce your stress level. It's like having a personal assistant to oversee the sale of your home. So why wouldn't you list with River Hills? What the heck's wrong with you? If you're even thinking about selling your home, call my friends at River Hills Properties, serving Utica, Rome, the Valley, and the North Country. Call 315-896-1009. And remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. Tell them Jimmy Fallon told you to call.
Mike Carl's, we have deals and we have steals. How about a 12.5-inch queen hybrid mattress with 2 pillows? Was $7.99, now just $3.99. Now that's a steal, only at Mike Carl's.
The The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, a Monday morning, and not the last Monday in August, but our final full week of August anyway. Hard to believe. Here we are. I know that that's what weather people say, right? Hard to believe it's already July. Hard to believe we're almost moving into August. And when you walk through your pharmacy and your grocery store and all of that, you see nothing but back to school and Halloween stuff.
That's hard to
hell
believe.
Is going on.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah. Republicans calling to impeach Joe Biden. That charge is growing following the release of an FBI document detailing bribery allegations. Raven Harrison from Fox News Radio on the line now. Raven, good morning. What do we know?
Good morning. We know that we have Christmas decorations in Hobby Lobby down here.
You do.
So you should consider yourself lucky that you're only getting Halloween.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Christmas in July. But, yes, what we know right now is the FBI just released an unclassified document, which means it's been available and out there, but they just released something detailing, and we have to keep doing this alleged thing, so I apologize. I'm doing the air quotes back here, but the allegedly detailing $17 million in payments that went to Hunter Biden. We don't know why. We're just going to assume it's because he's that awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that 10% going to the, quote, big guy, which equals 1.7 from a coercion with Burisma. So there had been a lot of talk about why Hunter was qualified to sit on an energy board. What they don't report is Pelosi and John Kerry all had children who sat on this board as well, just for context. But they're basically now saying, okay, we're releasing this, it's alleged, but we're pretty much not going to do anything about it.
So how is that? I mean, if and you're saying alleged, these are alleged accusations. How is it that they're not going to do anything about it?
Because they've gotten complacent. What we're seeing is proof of a uniparty and a two-tier justice system where the ones who are elected are deciding, who polices the police. That's like pretty much saying, officer, I pulled myself over to see if I was speeding, and I think I wasn't, so I'm not giving myself a ticket, which is what we're seeing here. And it's incumbent upon the American people. The heroes are going to come from we the people. They're not going to come from the elected politicians have had decades to create this mess that they're now trying to, quote, save us from. So that's what you're absolutely seeing. It's time for the American people to push back on this. If you don't know who your legislators and your congressmen are, that's part of the problem. If you don't know what they're voting on, that's part of the problem. If you don't know if they're demanding justice, that's part of the problem.
Okay. And so I just can't imagine this is just going to stall. I mean, if this document is accurate and it's real, why is it we can't go in just to see financial records showing that money deposited? It had to be deposited.
Correct, and we have. The Oversight Committee has received, the House Oversight Committee has received receipts totaling $8 million prior to this latest investigation. We have the proof.
Yeah.
So we have to listen to what they are saying. They're saying it's like with the cocaine. We don't know who left the cocaine in the White House. Wink, wink. Could have been anybody. But what they're not saying is they said they would likely not be able to name a suspect. Not that they couldn't, but they wouldn't. And that's what the American people need to hear. This is no longer an R versus D. This is good versus, evil. This is supposed to be an office that you esteem to be to hold in the highest regard. It's becoming a joke.
So we should hold officials accountable, no matter where they are, all the way up to the President of the United States.
All the way. And we should tell our Congress, we appreciate it, but you got to stop making speeches.
Yeah.
We got to see some action. We are really tired of the speeches. We know what's wrong. We know what we're elected to do about it. So this is time for you guys to uphold your oath.
And Raven, and I must say that if Joe Biden is involved, he should be impeached and should no longer be the president of the United States. Would you agree with that? And could face face criminal charges, possibly?
Yes, on all fronts, but I would absolutely recommend take the cackling czar with you and take Pelosi for good measure.
Okay,
so
take
I
them
would
all.
Say if you're
All
going
right.
to do that, do a sweep.
And just to be fair, if President Trump, former President Trump, has any involvement in any of all of what he's been indicted on, he also should be criminally prosecuted.
Correct.
All right, fair enough.
Nobody is above the law means nobody. And that's
Nobody
what it means.
should mean nobody. And you really got to
Correct.
wonder what in the hell is going on in Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Raven, interesting stuff. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Raven Harrison with Fox News Radio. Now also with Fox News Radio, Joseph P. Load. Joe Load on the line right now. Joe, good morning.
Where are you calling in from this morning?
He's in...
I'm calling from Route 12 North.
Okay. Okay.
Just
Joe...
past Barneville, just past Barneville, heading towards Remsen, and it's beautiful out here. But I don't know if my news is as big as that news.
Right. Well, you may be right. I think this is big news, though, and just in the fact, just in the possibility that somebody climbed the top of the Utica Tower.
What?
You believe that happened?
I believe that's the only way possible that this flag could be put up there was somebody scaled the tower in the swamp down there in the marsh in Utica and scaled the Utica Tower, and there's a Ukrainian flag flying high above the tower.
Wow.
Right now?
Right now. Yeah. I saw pictures of it yesterday and drove by and saw it up there. And the gentleman that brought it to my attention said he was going to call in, but I haven't heard him, so I figured I'd spill the beans first.
Now, are you sure that this isn't something that is endorsed, that the tower people actually put it up?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I would think that you either had to have some type of rigging to get up there.
You'd have to.
Or you had to climb it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, when you say the tower people, the county went and bought that.
You're right. It's now owned by the county. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not
That's
like
a good
private
point.
entity.
It's the county now.
Yes. And also, is
But
it still lit?
I have seen some Ukrainian flags flying in various places in the area, though.
Well, a lot of people are supporting Ukraine, and they'll fly a Ukraine. Usually, it's flying with the American flag, right? But I can't imagine that we would put just a Ukrainian flag up officially. That the county would do something like that. But
no, I think that's why I think it had to be somebody climbed the tower.
Okay, all right.
I did support Ukraine yesterday. I did go and get some pierogi and galumpkis down there at that little Ukrainian church on Cottage Street in Utica.
Nice, good for you. Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
And they sent all their funding right over to help the people of Ukraine.
I believe they do most of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. All right, Joe, we'll look into this and find out what's going on.
Sounds good. Thank you for investigating.
We are the investigators, Joe.
And welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. Okay.
And just a quick, since we're investigating here, it's Cottage Place, not Cottage Street. But nonetheless, I think we all knew what he was talking about. It's that St. Vladimir Ukrainian.
Yes, yeah. They've been doing
Catholic
it since the start of the invasion of Ukraine. Davey, I know you got a problem there. Don't worry about it. I'll fix it.
John in Bridgewater on the Ukrainian flag.
Okay. Hello, John in Bridgewater. Good morning.
John, hey, Bill. Welcome back to Great New York.
Was that you? I'll bet it was you that climbed that tower.
No, but I got another one for you. If you head down Route 5 heading to Mohawk, if you look on the right-hand side, there's one at the top of an old, it looks like an old telephone pole cut off. The Ukrainian flag.
So what is it? There's somebody that is the lone Ukrainian flag hanger?
I don't know, but I did a double take, and I'd love to go see the one at the top of the Utica sign.
Yeah, well, I think you can drive right by it.
Well, there's another one on the way to Mohawk on Route 5
All right.
on the right-hand
Thank
side.
you. That's interesting.
It is. All right, John. Thanks.
Hey,
we'll
welcome back, though, Bill.
Thank
nice
you,
hearing
sir.
from you.
Good hearing from you, John. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, Bill.
All right, you too.
All right, so back to real quick on the tower. Is it still lit or lighted? Am I saying it incorrectly?
Yeah, I see it. It's not?
Yeah,
Davey, what do you
I
say?
don't see it lit up anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just You know, sometimes you look at something so often it becomes
wallpaper.
And you don't recognize it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it is lit, and I'm not seeing it.
I feel like my wife feels that I'm wallpaper. Sometimes she'll walk by and be like, "Oh, you're still here." Right? And it's kind of like that. You kind of you see something or someone over and over and over, you don't even realize it's there. And then what's interesting is your memory begins to kick in. So you remember, like I just said, "Oh, of course it's lit." Right? I thought it was lit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not lit.
I have to check that.
You got to be out at night in order to,
you
have to be out at night in order to see it lit.
Correct.
But I cannot imagine that we would endorse we would put just a Ukrainian flag up there. So it sounds like somebody somehow got up there.
Yeah, they had to climb.
Had to climb it. Okay.
There's no way at this point to hang it with a drone, right? These drones don't have like little fingers or tentacles that could secure it.
You never know in this day and age. You never know. By the way, Mike says in regards to I think they've solved and made the announcement on who actually left the cocaine in the White House. Mike says it's the cocaine bear left the White House. I don't know if you had a chance to see that movie as of yet. And you know, I do have to ask. So this weekend, Paramount or MGM, whoever has released the two movies this weekend, both of them in theaters, they released a promotion to me that might be the most ridiculous I've ever heard. And they're saying that you're going to do a Barbieheimer or something. So what it is people were going out, according to the movie company, and they were buying tickets to see Barbie and Oppenheimer. In fact, I think they had a promotion where you could buy both as a package. My question is, who would show me the person?
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1,000 people in a group. This will be our sample. 1,000 people. How many of the 1,000 people in this sample, just average Americans, would go to see Barbie and then be like, I can't wait to see Oppenheimer?
I agree.
I don't know of any. And maybe there are some. You know, you have two circles. One is the Barbie circle. One is the Oppenheimer circle. This would be a study that was done. And at some point, you push the two circles together, and there's that group in the middle that sees both Barbie and Oppenheimer. I feel like that group is really, really small.
Yes, there has to be some overlap, but a very small.
What
small
kind of an advertising campaign is that? I don't get it. Got a break. It's 8:27 here on Monday morning at WIBX.
Oneida County Department of Family and Community Services has immediate openings for caseworkers. The starting salary is over $51,500. Be part of the Oneida County caseworker team that makes a difference in our community every day. 35-hour work week, annual salary increases, plenty of room for advancement, and more. Apply now at OneidaCountyJobs.com. That's OneidaCountyJobs.com. OneidaCountyJobs.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
It's your turn to win big at Turning Stone Resort Casino. We're paying out real jackpots to real people, like Holly, who won over $38,000, or Edward, who took home over $47,000. It's no wonder Turning Stone is New York's #1 gaming resort. Come play the newest slots, classic table games, and more. The next big winner could be you. Turning Stone Resort Casino. It's your turn.
Hi, it's Jordan from Little Falls Lumber. Summer is a great time to freshen up the look of your home, and we have you covered. We stock a variety of name brand products from GAF shingles, LP vinyl siding, Sierra Pacific windows, to Moisture Shield composite decking, and premium grade pressure treated decking. We have options to fit any budget. Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations, Little Falls, Syracuse, and Schenectady, to see what we have in store, or visit us at littlefallslumber.com.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español.
Gracias, Babbel.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients right now. If you're in need of a new family doctor or a new physician, a private practitioner, maybe your doctor is retired or you're looking for something different, the answer is in Washington Mills at the Falcon Clinic. This is Bill Keeler. Call today. Sleep, fatigue, pain, ADHD. You're not feeling well. You need an annual checkup. You need a physical. And it goes even further if you needed counseling. There's counseling for everything from smoking addiction to substance abuse, acupuncture, all under one roof. And then there's the osteopathic approach. The area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, the Falcon Clinic, is accepting patients right now. Call them today. Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Kosminski, all there under one roof. Call 315-507-4751 for the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Got a bunch of comments here this morning. We'll take your phone calls as well. Here on Monday morning at 315-736-0186. Everything from complete streets to the Ukrainian flag. Joe this morning sending me a picture, Joe Joseph, a picture of the tower. You totally could climb that.
When you say you, I know you don't mean me.
I could. You could too. I mean, even somebody as tall as I am, I could climb that thing. You want to do it later today?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm afraid even thinking about it.
Here's Aaron. Hi, don't do it. It's not safe. Don't do it. Here's Aaron. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning. I just wanted to comment on the Barbie Oppenheimer ticket thing.
Are you the only one?
I'm not sure. Yes, I would see both.
Yes.
I'm not sure they're anticipating the same person coming to see both, though. I think it's more they want to expand ticket sales with having, stereotypically the female go see Barbie and the male go see Oppenheimer, and they're going to go. Yeah, that's just my take.
Well,
but I would see both.
I kind of like you would see both.
Yeah.
Well, I would because my wife would tell me you must go see this one if I'm going to go see that one. Maybe there's a little negotiation here too. Oh,
yeah.
So maybe it's a brilliant campaign after all.
It could be.
It could be.
Know.
All right, Aaron. Good stuff. Thank
you.
See, you learn something every single day.
Chris in New Hartford, something similar. A person who has a daughter might buy both, Barbie for the daughter, Oppenheimer for them. Did they offer some type of a deal if you bought both?
I think there was a deal.
Yeah.
I was just seeing a lot of promotion of it, and I'm like, I don't know how many would want to do the same,
Yeah.
would do the same. But my guess is there are those that would. And because you can actually, both movies are political, right? Of course, Oppenheimer, the creation of the atomic bomb, and what came after that, and where we live today, and of course, according to Ted Cruz, the Barbie movie is actually Chinese communist propaganda.
Are you serious?
Yep. Apparently, there's a map in the movie. If you've not read this, you can look it up. I'm not going to get into it, but there's a map in there that looks similar to something that how the Chinese would like to see their territory, what they believe is their territory, and some are believing that this is propaganda. Okay. Of all places to put your propaganda in the Barbie movie, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, Andrew, our Andrew. Good morning, Andrew Dominio. Good morning.
Good morning. I've seen neither movie, unfortunately. But my thought was, what if they found a way to make a new movie combining Ken, Barbie, and Oppenheimer? Like maybe, I know Ken had some involvement in the development of the bomb, or they were vacationing unexpectedly in Hiroshima or something like that. I'm just throwing it out.
At the time, back in 45.
That's why they're all plastic parts nowadays.
That's right. That's a great idea. I mean, that could be a real, that could be quite a thriller.
Barbie hasn't aged in 57 years.
Yeah. Very interesting. And, so Ken worked maybe for the Nuclear Commission or something. And
Barbie was a spy.
Barbie was a spy, probably a Soviet spy, right?
Yes, and there was a love triangle between the three of them.
Yes, her, Ken, and
the bomb?
And the bomb. And
the
Oppenheimer.
creator of the bomb.
And Oppenheimer.
Yeah, the love triangle.
Oppenheimer, yeah. All right, I like it, Andrew. This could be, you know what? The fact that there's a writer's strike, they just got to come to us. We'd cross that picket line.
This is our golden opportunity. This is our chance.
I like it. All right, Andrew, good stuff.
We missed you Friday, Andrew.
Yes.
We missed you Friday. I was just letting you know. Thanks.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
All right,
Sorry
Andrew. Thank you, man.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting. That to me is a bit interesting. I want to go back to the flag, the Ukrainian flag, which is clearly we're getting pictures sent in here at the Utica Tower, and when you look at it, I truly believe. Like, you see how the scaffolding is? It's basically scaffolding. Yeah. You totally could climb that. I mean, you'd have to be a bit...
Again, when you say you, not
anybody,
specific to
a
me,
person
but
could
somebody
climb
could, yeah.
Yeah. Which is why... And there's a fence around it, so you'd have to scale the fence and the barbed wire. So there's barbed wire as well. And then you would you'd have to make your way climbing up with the flag. And then it looks like it's actually a flag and flagpole. It is. And you would then hang the Ukrainian flag. I find it a bit interesting.
Yeah, somebody put some work in there to do that, I'm sure.
Yeah, in order to do it, you'd have to put a little work into it.
That's, I don't know. I'm going to reach out and see, right?
Well, that would be the county now, right?
It's owned by the county, yeah.
Mike says, I think Andrew's idea for a combo movie will be a bomb, pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get where you're going with that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right, another quick break, and we'll come back here. Manaski has an update on news coming up, and we'll wrap up this Monday morning. Remember, Jimmy Fallon tickets are on sale right now at Ticketmaster. Search Jimmy Fallon and the Stanley Theater. It's coming up on November 11th at the Stanley Theater. That just so happens to be Veterans Day. It'll be Jimmy Fallon with Kennedy, right? You see all the host jobs Jimmy is doing right now, Davey? He's all over the place hosting shows.
Yeah, love it, man.
In that pink suit that he looks so good in. It's Jimmy Fallon, November 11th with WIBX. Go to Ticketmaster.com for tickets.
Check out Mattress Express's grand opening of their new superstore in New Hartford, 4488 Commercial Drive next to Pet Supply Plus, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy Hybrid, Purple, Puffy, The Number Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish, and more. Stop in, open 7 days a week.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
Hey, Mom. Hey. I completely forgot about Jackie's birthday tomorrow.
Okay. Sorry.
Hello.
Hi, Mommy. Are you still at Kenny? We've got this.
Kenny Drugs. We got this. And that.
All right, we have sunshine and 66 degrees. WIBX News Time, 8:38. The United Nations is in talks with North Korea for the return of an American soldier. Travis King fled across the border and into the secretive state last week. The UN Command's Lieutenant General Andrew Harrison saying today that the well-being of Private King remains the command's primary concern. The UN's confirmation that dialogue and discussions were ongoing comes as North Korea has remained publicly silent about King. Excessive heat warnings are being extended throughout parts of the U.S., at least through midweek. The alerts affected tens of millions of Americans over the weekend, while dangerous level temperatures hit the west and south. Phoenix, Arizona, and Salt Lake City all reached new daily highs over the weekend, all occurring on Saturday. Other states that saw triple digits included California, Nevada, Texas, Louisiana, and Florida. UPS and the Teamsters Union will return to the bargaining table this week. Contract negotiations that will resume Tuesday are aimed at everything, including a strike by 340,000 UPS UPS workers, among other issues. The Teamsters' 5-year labor deal with the shipping giant expires at the end of this month. The Justice Department is giving Texas an ultimatum: remove a floating barrier from the Rio Grande or get sued. At issue is a floating border barrier made of large buoys anchored to the river bottom at an area called Eagle Pass. In a letter to Republican Governor Greg Abbott, the feds called the barrier illegal and said it poses serious risks to public safety and the environment. Abbott maintains that Texas has the right to defend its border. President Biden will be designating a new national monument in Chicago to honor Emmett Till and his mother. The 14-year-old African-American from Chicago was kidnapped, beaten, and then brutally murdered in Mississippi in 1955 by white supremacists. Biden will sign a proclamation tomorrow on what would have been Emmett's 82nd birthday. And the Mega Millions jackpot is closing in on $1 billion. No one won Friday's drawing, making tomorrow's drawing worth at least $820 million. The lump sum on $820 million is $422 million. That is before taxes if you take the lump sum option. WIBX News Time is 8:42. Your Weather Center forecast calling for some of that heat that we've seen across the country to come right here to central New York. Today we have a slight chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. And if we do see it, it could be severe with gusty winds and heavy rainfall. But otherwise, mostly sunny skies with a high of 84 degrees. Chance of showers and a thunderstorm around midnight tonight. Otherwise, partly cloudy, a low of 62. Tuesday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 85. We do have a chance of showers or thunderstorms, though, mid-afternoon. Wednesday, sunny, a high of 90. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 92. Friday, mostly sunny with a chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm and a high of 88. Right now, we have sunny skies and 68 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:42.
So coming up, is it possible that the ARPA funding that has been used by various communities and municipalities, the city of Utica received a good chunk of money. Is it possible they spent $400,000 on improving an alleyway? That's what we're hearing, and there's a story out there. We'll get to it when we come right back. 315-736-0186 at WIBX.
The Munson Arts Festival returns to downtown Utica with a car show on Sunday, July 23rd and continues through Saturday, July 29th. Experience the best of the local art scene for free with a sidewalk art show, evening concerts, and so much more. Don't miss fun, family-friendly activities each day of the week, like children's crafts, a petting zoo, and art story with Utica Public Library. Starts 10 a.m. each day. See the full schedule at munson.art. That's munson.art.
If you're in need of concrete driveways, sidewalks, foundation repair, it's Brank Construction. This is Bill Keeler. Masonry and concrete work, stairs, cellarway entrances, basement floors, garage floors. Call Brank today. They'll get the job done right and right on time. 315-894-3481. Located in Frankfort, but servicing all of upstate New York. Stone walls repaired, built, retaining walls, And, of course, concrete driveways and sidewalks. If it's concrete or masonry work, there's nobody any better than Brank Construction. Call them today. 315-894-3481. 315-894-3481 for Brank Construction.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
If we've learned anything from recent news, it's that unexpected things are happening. Your gut tells you there's something very wrong going on, and all the evidence suggests that there is. Government emails are hacked. There's talk of how to fight World War III, and trade of grains and food are being disrupted. Those in charge say everything's fine. Stop noticing, but you know better. It's time to invest in self-reliance and emergency food storage now, more than ever. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, is the place you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunch, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save 25%, plus get free shipping on all their 3-month emergency food kits. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. It's time to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Not to stay too tight on this Barbie movie and Oppenheimer combined, but they're, as I said, they've called it Barbenheimer. And you want to know how it happened over the weekend? Who did what? Who scored big?
Yeah.
For all the hype surrounding Barbenheimer weekend, the end result should probably surprise no one. Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer times out at 3 hours, whereas Barbie comes in at less than 2, giving the opportunity for movie theaters to have 1 or 2 more screenings in the course of a day. Secondly, if you went to a movie theater, then the overabundance of pink far surpassed the number of people who were into a serious nuke drama. The numbers backed it all up. Barbie taking the weekend with a $155 million take at the box office. Oppenheimer did $80 million.
Almost double.
So it was a whipping that they received. But I guess that probably makes sense. Who's going to movie theaters today? You're probably younger, right?
Yeah.
So obviously Barbie did much.
And is it like an animated type thing?
No. It may have. I don't think there's any animation in it. Is there at all?
No, there's no animated
No.
in it at all.
I mean, she's driving around a little car, so it looks like what you might see in a
plastic character. Is the
No, it's a real actor.
Oh, okay.
A real life Barbie and a real life Ken.
You were in the Adirondacks because it's been all over TV.
Yeah, no, I did watch zero television.
Off the grid.
It was off the grid. I'm off the grid. I'm Jesse Ventura.
The story is
now I'm on the grid again.
The story is that the ARPA money that Utica spent seems to be, boy, I got to tell you, if you compare where Jackie Izzo is trying to spend the ARPA money and where Utica has spent the ARPA money, I don't mean to be critical. But, we have dog parks, we have murals, we have, right? We have
swept an alley.
We have alleyways being improved. What is this alleyway story?
So there's the alley.
I mean, this, by the way, compares to Rome Memorial, building a improving a YMCA, I can't think off the top of my head of the other things that are being done in Rome. But the two don't compare. And by the way, Utica got a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Okay, so this came Franklin Square. They're saying the alley between two buildings in Franklin Square. Now, it's a very popular spot. You'll see groups get together and do maybe photos in that alley. Not that long ago, I'll say, I guess it was a couple of years ago now, I think they hired somebody, maybe even just kids, to go in and do some, not graffiti, like some nice painting on some of the walls there. Apparently, that's all being redone. We got sent an article. WKTV reported on this. It was $400,000. And based on the image that this article depicts, it looks like they just went over the previous painting in the walls, and they did it all like a whitewash, and they're going to probably paint it something new.
Why not go back to brick? Just put the brick looks nice. I mean, sandblast it. Go back to brick. Then you don't have to worry about it painting, about it peeling and having to repaint it every 10 or 15 years.
Okay, this is from a week ago. Yeah, essentially they just kind of, I don't know if it's white or if it's a baby blue color that they painted over it. Utica Mayor Robert Palmieri and First Ward Councilperson Katie Aiello unveiling plans to beautify and activate the alley at Franklin Square. The press conference was held 10:30 in Franklin Square's alley. The project is part of Utica Prosperity Initiative, where Councilperson Aiello directed her district's allocation of American Rescue ARPA money. According to the mayor's office, the ARPA allocation was originally $200,000, but the project's total reached closer to $400,000. Palmieri agreed to put the extra resources into the project due to the alley being a critical space and distinctive feature in downtown Utica. Now, I do agree that there is some distinction, and that alleyway, as it's being called, is used. But $400,000 for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy Toledo. So I'll read the comment that came with it. This came from Deeds in New Hartford. $400,000 to remodel an alley, dedicate to the Erie Canal. Is this a joke? No one is paying attention to this in Utica. There is no other better, more practical use to spend $400,000. I'm reading here. This quote, Katie chick needs a little supervision. That's what the commenter said.
I mean, so what basically happened is that the mayor said, all right, here's a big chunk of money for
$200,000 each district.
Each district. They get to spend money. But
that's where the whole $500,000.
This has to include the mayor, right, as well.
Yeah, well, he doubled the money. He said that he agreed that it needed more attention. But the whole $200,000 for each district, if you'll remember, is where the whole $500,000 coffee tip or pay it forward or bribe, depending on who you listen to.
It was a $5,000.
Well, $500 in the envelope.
It was a $500 bribe.
Allegedly,
alleged bribe. Yeah,
but it was because that she had $200,000 to spend in her district on a project,
and she says that he wanted it for a community center of some sort.
Yes,
that he was trying to. Yeah,
and others in Utica say $500. That's not even a bribe.
What I do find, though, is community center versus fixing up the alleyway, and I get it. It is a bit of an eyesore. But why not just go back to the original brick? Brick is such a beautiful downtown asset. I mean, there are so many brick buildings that, when cleaned up, they can look really, really nice. But now that you paint it, you have to keep painting it.
Right.
So as time goes on, another 10, 15, 20 years, it's going to be chipped away at all over again.
This is from City Controller Bill Morehouse, responding to what I just said.
All right, Bill.
If you're ever going to move a city forward, quality of life issues are very important. When you have an opportunity, like COVID gave us, to transform the city, you take advantage of it.
I agree with that, Bill, wholeheartedly. I just think there are other ways that maybe we could transform the city. And maybe, we just don't know. Maybe we're not in the know. Maybe there are other people that see the bigger picture better than we do. But I'm sure there are.
Does that not concern you for the future if it costs that much money for an alleyway to do some paints and repairs?
I do think my idea would be to sandblast it and go back to the original brick.
How much do you think that would cost?
I don't know. But Nagel is piping in here right now. Said I could stretch a $400,000 paint job out. If you hire me, I'm just saying I could do it. Nagel. Pitter patter. What is the name of Nagel's business? It's
Send it, Nagel.
Pitter patter. I'm
Nagel.
just saying, sending it out to the city. Nagel could make this work. I got to say, you could, for the rest of us, give you got a couple pizzas and a 12-pack of beer. I'll bet you we could get it done. I'm just saying. Money can't go back. He is an ass. He is just burning up the money. Talking about in this case, talking about the mayor.
Well, you made the comment about why not spend it on potholes or something like that.
Yeah, I think there are basic things that once you get, you begin to spread out past Genesee Street in that corridor around the hospital in Franklin Square. Has anybody driven along James Street recently? Anybody driven in West Utica recently? There's a lot of places where money could be spent. And then Mike says, Katie's involved with it. It must be part of the Complete Alley program. I like it.
So somebody said something earlier. Actually, you asked Samantha Testa about, didn't they pass something that was they were going to pave every road in the city of Utica? Now, do you know, I don't have the exact formula in front of me, but it's some astronomical figure to pave a mile of city. And they figured that spending $5 million a year, if you did the math on it, it would take like something insane.
It would take a long
like
time.
40 years to pave every city road. So the only thing I was going to say as we prepare to wrap up here this morning.
And is that the point that it's gotten so far out of control that to correct this problem would be
the paving?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say it would, again, every streets would be on a 40-year rotation if you wanted to get them all paved. Maybe they should have taken that $400,000 and bought the Powerball tickets, because that's what they're going to need if they want to pay the whole city.
You're absolutely right. You're going to need that kind of money.
You need $1 billion.
And even finding the labor is going to be a problem. And then I want to leave you with this one I didn't get to earlier. Experts are now shining a light on the pointlessness of warning labels. We're talking about the warning labels that you'll get on certain products, whether they be liquid or devices, tools. Everything has to come with a warning label. How did the warning label become? How did it become a thing? Well, it became a thing because someone got injured in some really weird freak accident, and now it seems that the government requires that you put a warning label. Until the 60s, warning labels weren't a real thing, but that's when cigarette companies started. Oh, that's where I'm picking up the noise. Ooh, loud, man. Until the 1960s, warning labels were really not a thing, but that's when cigarette companies started putting them on their packaging. Since then, companies have followed suit, and the labels have gotten more and more wordy, intimidating, and extensive as perceived threats have become more understood when these companies get sued. And as societies become more sue-happy.
Sue-happy, yeah.
These days, experts in the field say consumers have gotten to the point where they simply ignore warning labels. Research now shows the most effective warnings come with graphics that evoke emotion rather than extensive wordage that basically people just end up ignoring. And consumer advocates say designing products with less risk is far more effective. So basically the conclusion is, instead of having to put these warning labels on, just think about the medicine that we're consuming. We're all worried about getting a vaccine. Yeah. When you look at the commercial, a 60-second commercial for some medicines, the warning is like 45 seconds.
Right.
And then there's about 15 seconds for the commercial. And I just think that we've reached a point where people probably just ignore it and pay no attention to it.
Yeah, again, it becomes wallpaper. You're so used to seeing so many of these warnings, I think you just black it out.
Should there be a warning that says, do not use this hairdryer while in the bathtub? Do we really need that warning?
Well, I would say this, though.
And by the way, if you're a person that needs that warning, my guess is you're not going to read it.
Here's the thing, though. I think so much has changed in the world you grew up in from the world that we grew up in today.
Right.
I think there are kids that don't know I should not be charging my cell phone right next to the bathtub.
Right.
I think they actually don't know that.
They might not. But again, back to the question, if they don't know that, are they going to read it? And is the warning label going to? So maybe a picture will.
Yeah.
They need something that's going to be like 1,000 words. The picture, 1,000 words. I am out of time. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Enjoy your day.
Hi, it's Jordan from Little Falls Lumber. Summer is a great time to freshen up the look of your home, and we have you covered. We stock a variety of name brand products from GAF shingles, LP vinyl siding, Sierra Pacific windows, to Moisture Shield composite decking, and premium grade pressure treated decking. We have options to fit any budget. Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations, Little Falls, Syracuse, and Schenectady, to see what we have in store, or visit us at littlefallslumber.com.
Cliff's Local Market is now hiring.
As a locally owned growing family business, there's a lot of opportunity for me to progress in my career here. And it feels like I'm a part of a big family.
I'm so glad I joined the Cliffs team. The benefits are great too. I can even get dental and vision as a part-time employee. But I really like the employee meal discount.
Seeing all of my local customers each day and being able to put a smile on their faces is what I most enjoy about working at Cliffs.
Come join our team.
Apply at cliffslocalmarket.com/careers.
WIBX 950 Utica, Rome. W295DI Utica, Rome. From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. They've met the polling and fundraising thresholds for the first GOP presidential debate next month on Fox, set by the Republican National Committee. Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy, Chris Christie, and former President Trump, who has suggested he may skip the debate, not wanting to face his distant rivals. He has big leads in 2 new Fox Business polls.